Yes, people, big up to all of you. I do hope you're all doing well. I appreciate you all finding the time to join another edition of the Blue Morning Show. Thank you so much to all of you once more. That's why we're growing as quickly as we're growing. But more importantly, today, it's another Blue Morning Show, specifically another transfer watch on a Chelsea perspective. And today we'll talk about Callum Hudson-Odoi, Djordje Peteovic. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing his first name correctly, but I'm quite sure his last name is pronounced Petrovic. We'll talk about the possibility why we should pair Moises Caicedo and Romeo Lavia at least now in the double pivot, and maybe play Enzo further forward, but not because it's the most ideal thing to do, because for some reason I will explain later on in the show. And I appreciate you all, and I'm quite sure we'll talk about all the items that will pop up as the show progresses. We'll talk about Lewis Hall, talk about Folarin Balogun, and all that. But more importantly, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective once more. I appreciate you all finding the time to join. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. More importantly, I hope you're all eating blue, sleeping blue, and waking up blue. Overall, living the blue life. As for me, that's what I do. Quickly, we have to get into the chat and say hello to people there, because we keep it interactive here. Before we move on to addressing the items we have, we're not going to let this one last too long, because we don't have too many stuff to talk about. Otherwise, it's going to get boring. Why are we signing a goalkeeper who we don't know? A goalkeeper you don't know, because more importantly, the scout know him. They know him very well. They've taken their time to look at him, and before deciding they want to sign him. Yep, they've done their work, and that's the way it's going to be from now on. Yeah, for foreseeable time in the future, the Chelsea team, they will not be paying too much money for too many players. Some players will be some signings you don't know, but when they come in, they do a good job. And little John, I appreciate you, John Hand. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this morning. I have just pressed the like button. I appreciate that, John. Let's see. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes that do go along. We appreciate you all. Hello, fam. Hello to you too, Jafta Sikwe. Hope you all are doing great. I am still hurt about our last game, but hoping for good times. A lesson learned by parts. That's how I see it. I appreciate the fact that you're not one of those, bent out of shape because we lost a game. A game we played very well in the first half. Something happened. Something you could say. I can't quite put my fingers on it, on them, on it. But here's the thing: the manager will learn from it. For me, it was just a bleep. The good signs have always been there from preseason to our first game against Liverpool. I get it. Some will argue that it will always be easy to play against Liverpool, but yeah, it was too easy, which means we did something right. And I don't care what structure the manager prefers to play. Believe me, I know. He's a smart man and must have learned a lesson or two. And for a reason, he's deploying the three at the back approach. I think he understands that what he has on the flanks are wing backs traditionally and not full backs traditionally. So yeah, but I think we'll be all right. It's a lesson just in time. That's how I see it. I'd rather we falter now and then find a solution to the issues we're having, and not falter towards the end of the season or mid-season, and then not be able to recover. Or maybe the lesson we'll learn, it'd be too late to take you could say correctional measures. That keeper is good, according to Emmanuel Chijoke, and from the statistics I've looked at, he is good. Hall of Fame, Santiago Muno, holler to you too. I hope you're doing well. And Emmanuel Chijoke say, please send Chelsea on to sign Victor Osimhen, whatever it takes. It's not possible. Probably too expensive than we've always anticipated, because the Saudis came in with a large sum, and it was you could say rejected by Napoli president De Laurentiis. I'm not sure how much, but I'm sure something north of 100 million. Morning to you to keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join. Chelsea is very serious about bringing in a Brendan Johnson and a Balogun Poch, a talent ID. I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned. You may not like the player, but he may have taken Poch and the club's scouting department. They might, yeah, for sure, not may actually, definitely have taken the time to look at the players in question and see, yeah, he's going to work under the manager. It's as simple as that. After all, some of the players he nurtured at Tottenham, you knew nothing about them until they started firing all cylinders under him. For instance, Kane was a bench warmer and all that. It's that time of the year, Jersey. Nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join. I hope you're doing well. I am delighted that Gallagher will be remaining with the team. For me, I don't really care that much what happens if he stayed. I'm fine. Most important thing is that there's a good player in him, in my opinion. And if anybody will help him become better or become polished, yeah, it will be Pochettino. I am delighted that Gallagher, yeah, I've read that one. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I'm not surprised at Poch. Poch love roadrunners and headless chicken. Here's the thing, it is him, but more importantly, I'm quite sure he will do well at Chelsea. Head to you too, Feed the Super. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. I'm not too sure how many likes we'll have right now, because I can't see the other window. I've been trying to make some changes in the studio. Big up to you too, Coachila. The chat and and the chat once more. Chelsea all the way. I appreciate you joining. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes. Desmond Murathai or Moretti says good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. Getting you live and clear updates apart from a goalkeeper because CFC still need a proper striker. We'll get to that in a bit. Nothing new with regards to the striker options. Let's see. Antonio Podcast cooked a disaster and Coel. You could say that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Big up to you too, Chelsea Mitchell. Boy, I appreciate you finding the time to join. And whenever you get a chance to share the link to your channel, and I'll talk about it. I think I will set Nightbot as I do it before, so that when somebody joins, it automatically tells people about a person's channel if that person has a channel. But I think I had to kill it because people were abusing it at the time. Big up to you too, brother. I appreciate you finding the time to join. We played good in the first half, but I cannot be positive about the fact the owners didn't buy senior players. Our problem is still the attack and goalkeeper. We are really we're not in the mud, but you're entitled to believe we are. But believe me, I don't think we're in the mud. There are lots more positives from that game than negatives. Well, yeah, we did lose the game, but we created a lot of chances. Our issue being we didn't put away the chances. Had a penalty, had about 3-4 clear-cut chances that we should put away. It's as simple as that. And let's see what else we have here. Poch mentioned that he will be experimenting with both the back four. That's nothing new. We knew he's going to be mixing up a bit. It was only you, Jersey, that kept arguing that he's going to stick to back four, but we knew he's going to mix it up. That's what makes you a good manager. A back four, for the time being, he is in the process of identifying the optimal formation for the team. That's what he's going to do. I don't know why people are crying about what structure he plays. He's going to go with a structure that's going to help him get the best out of the players he has available to him. Is there any player on the squad that you think should have played and make a difference, and anyone you think was poor shouldn't have played? I'm going to highlight this as the questions there. Then we get to it. To me, I wouldn't have again. I know the manager probably doesn't. It doesn't look like he fancies Matson. You can say as a wing back maybe, but I would have played him there since it's the wing back role. I think that's where he played on loan predominantly. I think he would have been more productive than Ben Chilwell, because Ben Chilwell he hardly progresses the ball once. Once you have one or even two or even one opposition player in front of him, he opts off in his front. He opts off a safer option or sideways or backwards. That's one thing I don't like about him. I know he carries goal threat, but to progress the ball in tight spaces or when oppositions defend deep, zilch. He can't do that. But that's, by the way, we're not talking about that game today, honestly. Maguire was 30 million. Instead, you wasted 45 million for French Maguire. I can assure you, Disasi is a better player than Harry Maguire. It's just that we're too in a hurry to integrate him into the team because the manager feels like his physical attributes will help the team. He's a better passer of the ball, a better reads the game better than Harry Maguire. We keep overhyping these youngsters, but they are not ready. Modric, Sanchez, Disasi. Okay, Disasi isn't a youngster anymore. Let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along where people are overreacting. The first half performance against West Ham was actually stronger than the second half. The game we did well overall. There are things to learn from that game. But once again, I'm not going to talk about that much. And Constantine Dante, nice to see you, brother. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. I do hope you're doing well. Much love to you. It's been 2 days now, but nice to see you. And get a load of the twice on Sky saying Rice is not in Keane or Vieira class, but similar to Asian. So disrespectful. Did they even watch Asian? Rice is so different from Asian. Is not close to Asian. They differ. Probably because he played well on the day. So the unwarranted comparison, in my opinion, no. Essien is a different player from Rice. Rice is something he does differently than Essien does. Essien cannot play in the center back, but in terms of fulfilling the DM role, Essien takes, he's way better than Declan Rice. The Sassy is not a youngster. He's 25. Yep, I said that, but he's a good player. Good morning to you too, Amaji Chijoke. It seems that Chelsea is cursed. Why are our players getting injured? And I wouldn't be surprised if Chilwell gets injured this weekend. Good question, but I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be all right. It wasn't as bad as it was last season. The cases we're dealing with, you can say, how many people have gotten injured this season? I think 2 already. Yeah. I don't know what the problem is. Let's see what else we have here. Connie, mid-game injury certainly didn't aid the situation, and his absence has showed how important he is to this team. I get it, whether you feel like he's not good enough for Chelsea or not, but we have to make do with what we have. And given that, he's actually very important to this team. The moment he went off, things changed. We couldn't do well in the attacking area as well as we did during the first half. Additionally, Chelsea's second half performance was saw multiple errors that contributed to West Ham second goal. Yeah, I'm not going to complain too much. I know we're fine. As the pressure of the occasion mounted and the team felt its impact, however, this experience will serve as a valuable lesson. Yeah, a lesson just in time, in my opinion. And the team will swiftly learn from it. It's as simple as that. I'm going to try to get to everything we have in the chat, and then we have to start discussing the items we have lined up and round off as soon as possible. Please keep dropping the likes on the stream. We have 71 people, but just 38 likes. That is not fair at all. For the last match, CFC fans were disappointed. But after CFC have learned things, you have these things happen. If they don't happen, like I said, it's a lesson. It happened just in time for us to learn something going into the season. It happened under the reign of Antonio Conte earlier in the season that made him switch back to his preferred three at the back approach. It happened under what's his name, Thomas Tuchel, when we lost, was that 5-2 against West Brom. These things happen, and I think the manager will be happy it happened on time. Second game of the season, and some people are already calling player names and saying some players are a waste of money. Some content creators, unfortunately, that don't understand the power of their platform, you can say, leading the charge of name calling players and saying leading the charge of, you can say, those calling, you can say, highlighting how much was spent and how poorly we perform. Unfortunately, without them being sensible enough to also, you can say, subtract how much we've made from player sales before saying, okay, this is how much we spent in total. It just doesn't make sense, unfortunately. Chelsea, a continual obsession with youth, it's a disgrace. It's not a disgrace, but Adebayo Makunju, without due respect, you're entitled to your opinion. You don't see, are you seeing all those young stars? Are you seeing all of them in the first 11? You're not. You're not. It's not a disgrace. They're planning for the future. Real Madrid do that. Barcelona do that. So it's not a bad thing we do it. I think your frustration, my bro, stems from the fact that we haven't started well. I know you've been complaining about how many young players we've been signing, but tell yourself the truth. Are they all in the first 11? No. We signed Kendrick Pires. We signed the Brazilian international that went on loan to Strasbourg. There are a few of them. Keep naming them. There are quite a lot of them, and not all of them are in the first team. And chances are Santos will still go on loan because we're looking for more experienced players. So the owners are well aware that we need to mix them up. They're not signing them for all of them to be part of the first team. The overreaction was an honest reaction from the fans because they saw a lack of creativity in Chelsea's attack, and the club are where they are well aware of that, and that's why we're looking for a traditional number 10, right? A creative 10 to be specific. I'm sure you of all people knows that the individual actions of a player stabbing the opponent, stabbing the opponent defense and crossings are not creativity. Yeah, you could argue that structure is important, and he worked so well in preseason. Not sure why I changed against West Ham. I understood against Liverpool, but not West Ham United. Yeah, you can argue that. I think he should have gone for a more familiar structure to him. But the question is Chilwell a good left back? No, he's not. He's better off a winger than he is a left back. That's the thing. But here's the thing. If you look deeper, the question I'm asking, even if it's a hybrid approach, when we went to a back four, why did we had a center back playing in the left back position? That alone can be problematic. So I hope he learned his lesson from that. Salam, nice to see you. I appreciate you joining. And Mabiza says, I do not believe that the weaker performance in the second half was a result of Enzo losing the penalty. Chelsea is still building it. It's a process. That's common sense. We were never going to be perfect, but believe me, from what I've seen, we are way ahead in this project. And I have to be honest with all of you. And again, in a minute, I'm going to just go through the comments of those of you that I haven't read your comment. And we're not here to talk about that game. We did review the game immediately after the game ended. So we're here to talk about transfers, and we don't have too much time. If we're talking again about the games, then we're not going to actually get into the items we have lined up. Also, Starling again, even though he did well, he still hurts the team with a final pass decision making. Now he's going to play more because he did well. And yeah, as well as he did, that made a difference. He did well. He was a fun. You can say he unsettled the West Ham defense, and that was good. If he can keep performing like that, I wouldn't mind him starting. Folarin isn't better than Djordje Peteovic. Yep, that's a question I want to ask. I think because here's the thing: if we sign Folarin, then it'd be because the U.S. market, not because it's better than Djordje Peteovic. I think Djordje Peteovic is way better than him, in my opinion. Or less reinstate Lukaku. Forbidden. Stop wasting finite money, finite funds on delicious, duplicious, signings. Getting a top winger, attacking midfielder, and a striker. It's trending towards a joke now. I think we'll be all right. Honestly, admit that I suggested he would opt for 4-2-3-1 formation, but to clarify, I indicated he would go for 4-3-3. This implied that if he did choose a pack four, he would align with the formation. It doesn't matter really. I think he will go with whatever he feels like will help bring out the best in the players. Reece gets injured because he does too much work in the gym. The guy is best in the world. Unfortunately, I don't think it's about the work he does in the gym. Smash the like button, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We have 46 likes. We should be doing better than that. We have 81 people watching. So it's not fair that we have just 46 likes. I want to see Romeo, Lavia, and Moises Caicedo start in the midfield. That will go a long way. We'll get to talk about that in a bit. One draw, one loss, back three. Don't you see it, fans? Not even a coach can see that. I'm not sure the structure we played was the issue. I think the manager will sort it out. Whatever it was, again, whatever happened, he will find a solution to them. Keep at least 5 midfielders because of unforeseen circumstances like injuries. As I said earlier, 2 down already. Yeah, you could argue that. Pochettino also should be strict on selling players and getting them to loan. Yet, if they're given chances, they will get better. I think he, of all people, knows that. Kepa is better than Sanchez. That is just your opinion right there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. But Conte and Tuchel had experience and mature players at the moment. The moment Poch doesn't have that experienced team, which is an important factor. I think we're still getting 1 or 2 experienced players, and I think the team is a bit more balanced than it was in the earlier. That's just my opinion, but I understand where you're coming from, and I still say we'll be all right. When a rebuild is done properly, the end result is incredible. There's always a learning curve, or a lesson or two to learn at the start of a rebuild. Mark my words, this is only the beginning for Chelsea. Yep, I think I agree with you. I've seen more signs that give me hope that things will get better. Coach, till 2021, Chelsea Cuss injured. Yeah, you could argue that. Sullivan, nice to see you. Big up to you too, Eugene. I think everyone worried a bit when they saw that lineup, West Ham or not. Yeah. Chilwell is better as a winger, than at left back. What is he defend? Even in the attack, actually, it can. You heard me speak at length. Again, he's not good at progressing the ball when oppositions defend deep. In that aspect, for me, he's no different from Timo Werner in the sense that he needs space to be effective. And I think he's become a liability, unfortunately. I have to say that. Good day to you too, my South African bro. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, when I saw the lineup information, I knew we're not winning. So yeah, the manager to find a solution to that. Chelsea have 7 injured players into the season. The physio department should make sure that the players are ready before returning to playing matches early. Maybe we should do that. Blues need a striker to compete with Nicholas Jackson. To Sterling has improved a lot. Support him. Yeah, I hope so. We need midfielders too. Not with an S. You have to be specific. We need attacking midfielders. Yeah, and I've always said that last season when people were saying all we need is just a goalkeeper and a DM and a number 9 and we're fine. I've always said we need a creative and attacking midfielder, a traditional 10 to help us diversify our chance creation so that we can create chances from central areas and not just from the flanks, which is predictable. I've said that 1,000 times last season, and now it's according to everybody. Yeah, that's actually the case. I'm not a coach, but I believe that in the absence of a 10, a midfielder of Caicedo and Lavia and Enzo will be a good one in a 4-3-3. Even in a 4-2-3-1, you say, in a 4-3-3 maybe, not a 4-2-3-1 because we don't have a traditional 10. So I agree with you. Chelsea hoping Arsenal with funds to sign Mbappe or Osimhen, they're not going to get those players, even if we pay them 17 million or 100 million for Folarin Balogun. Of course, I know the reason why we're trying to sign him. Lavia and Caicedo together, and we're going to championship. Let's see. Sterling is a lot more productive on the left wing. And the right wing, the front of 3 should be Sterling, Jackson, and Madueke. Right now, you could argue that's what we should be doing. I really hope Lewis would stay. You really hope he would stay. He's gone. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Coach, this team just needs a time. Coach, when last a Chelsea coach had a fit squad, shaking my head, I'm not too concerned, really. I just have to be honest. I'm not too concerned. And unfortunately, I'm going to scroll I'm going to be scrolling to the very bottom in a bit so that we can start addressing the items we have lined up here. Take a look at the top 8 EPL forwards. EPL forward players. We are not even in the top 6. West Ham signs Kudus, and they immediately trumps Trump sauce. Okay, getting talented and experienced players and watch us explode. I think they will do that, and they're working on that. Some of us just saw things happening. You cannot sell your experienced players to the team above you in but buy inexperienced players from team below you. Here's the thing: the question you want to answer is this: the experienced players in question, they all wanted to leave. Kai Havertz wanted to leave. Mason Mount wanted to leave, and even Mateo Kovacic wanted to leave. So you can't force players to stay when they want to leave. All 7 Real Madrid midfielders are better than midfielders. Okay. Yeah, okay. That's your opinion there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along with. Do you remember Giuliano Belletti? He was my favorite player for a time. I like Belletti so much from Barcelona to Chelsea and then on. Chelsea needed to play 4-3-3. It's up to the manager to decide what structure he wants to play. Expect to end in a good place. We are a relegation candidate, and it's a direct result of this misguided notion that Chelsea needed to be revamped. Well, the revamp wasn't intentional. It wasn't by design. Of the players wanted out, and at some point, it was clear we needed to be revamped. And believe me, we'll be all right. Let's see. These owners are destroying our club. I'm not going to get into. Listen, we're here to talk about transfers right now. Honestly, I'm not going to get into that. Jackson, Mudryk, and Nani combined will not give us 35 league goals. Just the bitter truth. We need to mix it up. I do agree with that one. These explanation, White Poch for the time to Stalin. If we had needed, okay, Bobby's advice, selling Stalin might have already been sidelined. Important to know that Poch has been with Chelsea for 7 weeks only. I'm not here to make excuses. I think we're going to be all right. I'm just going to leave it at that. If Chilwell is a liability in defense, then he's not good enough. That's just what the term I didn't use. Do I think he's good enough? I think no. For some, can, and I'm going to explain why. He struggles once oppositions defend deep. He's basically useless, in my opinion. Hello to you to Gabriel Keita and everyone again on the chat and panel. All I can say is I'm really not happy with okay, with MSC, with most Chelsea fans, the way they are talking on social media, it hurts us, Chelsea fans, but we should be one. People are entitled to their opinion and entitled to complain and all that. But that's it for me. Again, Chelsea are thinking over it. Poch hands are tied right now. He is forced to play 3 at the back due to injuries. You could argue that. Let's support our lads in good and bad moments. I think that's what we should be doing. The upcoming games are indeed a blessing as well. Yep, that will help us, you can say, get our groove going, in my opinion. And let's see what else we have here. Coach, after thinking over, okay, yeah, Chelsea all the way. Let's keep dropping the likes on the stream. And my bro is in the house. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show, brother. I hope you're doing well. Please, if you haven't, go check out Almighty Blues FC and do subscribe to his channel. And a delicious cross a platform starting on Thursday. Believe me, I'll share more information probably tomorrow so you don't miss it. So go check out and be sure to subscribe. Let him know I sent you. Was impressed with Caicedo's debut, except for the pen. You can see he's not fit yet. And that was why we argued during the pregame show he shouldn't start. I think we were fine, but I get it. Unfortunately, I'm going to say this again, and shamefully, to some content creators, they took that one mistake of Caicedo and run with it. We're creating thumbnails with it. Some are actually suggesting we wasted money on Caicedo. Shamefully so. Content creators, then I don't think they know how much power they have. They don't help the situation by, you can say, getting the fans to believe, yeah, we made a huge mistake. Everyone needs to hit the like button, people. We are at 50 likes. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. That would go a long way. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. I'm going to scroll quite a lot and say hello to those that I haven't said hello to. And honestly, we're not here to review the match. But yeah, I generally believe Enzo will get more assists once we finish better up front. I am okay with us getting a scoring winger instead. Since Modric are still raw, you could argue that. And yeah, we should trust them. Poch and the board are clowns. Okay, I'm not into here to do that today with you. Do we have new signings? Not yet. We don't have any more new signings. But Raphael, more importantly, nice to see you. I appreciate that. It's too early for making judgments, but 200 million for Caicedo and Lavia is a joke of judging it by players' quality. You like it or not, midfield without creativity, creative ability means nothing for me. I think we'll sort that out. I'm not too concerned. I really wish Bacola could play for Chelsea, but PSG are interested. And chances are, rumors are that he's again they're leading the race. Sign him. Klaus on Twitter still saying is the best. I think he's a fine player in my opinion, but you have every right to argue otherwise. And the problem is Chelsea fans were so used to getting the best players and having instant success. It will take a while to adapt to new ways. Fans need to be patient. Patient is needed, otherwise it's not good for your health. Let's get into 100 likes as soon as possible, people. The likes do go a long way. Yeah, I'd rather Bacola because Lamin, I don't know that name, but Johnson, honestly, he sucks in my opinion. Honestly, maybe they see something in him that he gets better. Caicedo, wow, is rubbish in your opinion. People say it's a first game, but he's rubbish, zero creativity. Wow. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. What do we have? Big up to you too, Gabriel Maobas. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. He says, my fear, let me get that one there. He says, my fear is not having to deal with the same issues from last season. More players than needed with less experience. I think we'll be good, honestly. It's just a blip in my opinion. These things that happen. And you should be glad it happened early in the season. Big up to you too. The comment section are just speaking their minds. That game was very concerning, and it's all started when that lineup came out. You could argue that, and it got worse once Connie Chukwuemeka got injured. And by the way, the Blue Tiff again, much love to you, brother. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show, and I do hope you're doing well. Poch needs to own his mistake. Bringing on Mudryk instead of Matson was a textbook error, and those are the facts, in your opinion. For me, here's why I say it. Modric for me should have started against Liverpool, which you could argue a game that he should, again, lots of space for him to exploit. But then again, we're not here to talk about that game. We're here to talk about transfers. We don't have too much time. We don't have too much time to go into the game and then talk about the transfers we have today. We did review the game immediately after the show ended, after the game, after it ended. So yeah, we're not going to spend too much time on it. This is a Poch needs to own his mistakes. Yeah, I think he will. He will learn from that. My opinion, Lewis Hall is better at wing back than Ben Chilwell. I've argued that before. The only for Chilwell because he is high in the pecking order. Maybe have the manager see him, Mr. Osi. I appreciate you joining. Watch this young Belgium Johan Bakayoko. I know we don't want another Bakayoko, but can be better than Doku and is left-footed, unlike Bacola. Do check him out. I think I will. You made the YouTube shot I watched, and I was again something distracted me, but I really wanted to check him out. Sign Brendan Johnson, and we are officially finished. I don't like him, honestly. Talk about being raw, and he's awful, really, in front of goal. We've not summoned Modric. All of you would have likely criticized him. Instead, it's an odd strategy to target managers when something doesn't go as planned. Let's see. Also, Glonto from Leeds can play as a second striker. Let's see what the club does. Rafael was a player for us and player like him, not Mudryk, whatever. Mudryk would come good. I think he's a fine player, but I have to argue we didn't handle his start to life at Chelsea very well. And it can be difficult to come back from that, but I think it's fine anyway. I am patient, coach. You don't sound like you are. But signing Caicedo itself was a mistake. It was never a mistake, Caicedo. We need Caicedo, but we need more than just Caicedo. And I've always said that. We don't just need a DM. We need a number 10 that can help create chances from the central area and not we'll create some. I know Enzo does that, but Enzo is not a 10. So we needed to do that also. And I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. I'm just going to say hello to some people I haven't said hello to to in the chat. Vic, big up to you too. I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. I appreciate you joining. And Okpegwa, Michael Caicedo will come good. There's no question. There's no question. You know that. Everyone knows that already. Coach, don't you think Chelsea should have bought experienced players? Age really doesn't, you can say, equate to experience. It's a matter of how many games, the total games you've played. And for me, Caicedo is experienced. Lavia, he has enough experience, especially in the Premier League. But I think we'll mix it up also. Let's see who the club signs. Coach, we need experience and talented forwards. I think you and I agree. We've talked about that before. We need to mix it up. That's the weakest part of this team. So as last season, yeah, we haven't. I think we learned. I think we'll come good. Just calm down. I know you're concerned, but really just calm down. We'll never come good. Kasim miss creativity. That is just your opinion. Yeah, and it'd be nice if you say, okay, that's my opinion. I am from Belgium, and Bakayoko is not better than Doku. Doku is the most talented player on his position from Belgium. Doku is an excellent player too. I don't know the Bakayoko kid to argue, to present, you can say, a sensible argument with regards to which of the two players is better than the other. Coachila, as much as I don't rate Johnson, he still outscored most of our forwards last season. Okay. Hijack Doku or Kudus. I thought Doku to Manchester City is a here we go. Coach, there was no space. Matson has shown that, again, in tight spaces, he's much better than Mudryk. No one is above criticism, including Poch. Yeah, I agree with you. My argument is that my argument was that Mudryk should have started against Liverpool. And I believe he could have done better than Ben Chilwell because the spaces there the spaces were there for him to exploit. Chilwell, whom I've argued, you could say, does well when there are spaces for him to exploit. Didn't even do well enough in that game, in my opinion. The obsession with 4-2-3-1, why not try 4-2-3-3? Myers on it's the manager, not me. Coach, target number 10, Enzo is very incomplete. I don't think he's going to play in the 10 role, but I wouldn't mind even in the 4-2-3-1 structure playing him there until we get in a traditional number 10 playing. We'll talk about why I am suggesting we play Caicedo and what's his name and Lavia in a double pivot in a 4-2-3-1 structure. We'll talk about that in the weakest link in this team, just like last season, if not address 6 or 10 positions incoming, bringing us some top forward talents. I think we will. Coach, I just don't understand why we cannot put the ball in the back of the net. Too many attackers. I think we'll deal with that. And again, I'm going to repeat this. I'm just, once I get to the bottom, we're done talking about that particular game. And I'm not going to address anything with regards to that. It's disgraceful for people to judge a player who isn't fully fit and played only 30 minutes. As much as I respect people's opinion, this 2023 football for you, I don't think anybody has any right to critique Moises Caicedo that much. If anything, the manager shouldn't have actually brought him on. If anybody needs to be criticized as the manager, I don't think he was in the right frame of mind too much. I would have just left him on the bench, honestly. Coach, what we need to do is mix it up. Good youth players, a few big names, and hidden gems. We are making terrible signings. I think we'll be all right. How West Ham players are fully fit, but Caicedo isn't. Are you even paying attention? I think that's just your opinion. Facts, Coach. Mudryk is a great outball when we are pressed back against better teams. Yep, and I think he could have done better than Chilwell against Liverpool. Coach JC, nice to see you. I appreciate you. I hope you're doing well, Coach. People are only watching one miskicked a shot of Mudryk and making an agenda out of it. Again, shamefully, some content creators are driving that agenda. Did they even watch his dribbles and runs behind the defense? Yeah, I am sorry. Yeah, unfortunately, as content creators are driving that too. I like you too, brother. Might as well just sign everyone for Starboy. Big up to you too, Glenn 10. More importantly, I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join Panel and China. I'm over the West Ham game. That's what I'm saying. We're here to talk about transfers. It's as simple as that. I am not over these rumors of these fifth tier players at the at the respective clubs we are interested in. Just call them rumors. You call them rumors, so I wouldn't be too concerned about them. Coach, you can take a break from the comments. You earned it. Don't worry. Let me just. There are a few people there I want to be show some respect to. Hello, Coachila. It will be so shameful if Poch don't start getting the team performing. They performed. That's the list of my concerns. I think we'll be fine. When last did you see a top 10? Top 10 in the table since 2022. Yeah, I think just relax. Let's see what else we have here. The players are on the confidence, and the more we lose, the more last season trauma affects. I don't think confidence was the issue against those guys. Caicedo have only okay. Let's see. Probably play as a 10. I don't see Gallagher playing as a 10. The manager has shown you he prefers him as a deep line midfielder. Caicedo have only okay, in your opinion, coach. I always hated Caicedo. Okay. Your opinion there. Okay, I'm done. I'm just gonna get to the very bottom. Buying Mudryk is not a problem, but we had to sign a Trossard as well, and that you can give Mudryk some rotation. But at least I wanted us to sign Trossard for some reason we didn't want him. Mudryk is only 21. He will only he's actually a fine player right now, and as I've said, I don't think we handled his start to life at Chelsea well, and that's an issue. But I think he's fine, and the manager knows what the talent he is and has spoken about him. Yeah, on multiple occasions. Was the game plan versus West Ham to get the stall and to create all the chances and nobody take a shot on target. I don't know. We're done talking about the match right now. When I will hear some critic about English players, gosh, when I go to we need at least one butcher in the team. That's another way to put it. And Caicedo, you can say he had Golden as one of the most important signings for us this transfer window. And I'm not concerned. What is a Chelsea is something Leipzig model? No, we're different from Leipzig. Leipzig don't spend as much money as we spend in a single window or for a single player. The intent is good, and hopefully we sign at least one more player, attacking player, two more, a traditional number 9 than Jackson to mix things up. I think we'll be fine. But that's by the way we'll move on. We will start addressing the items we'll have lined up here. And before we go to the first item, I want to say big up to Roger and Ty for finding the time to join me on the panel this morning. Sincerely do appreciate that. Let's move to the items we have lined up here. Just give me 1 second here. This says exclusive Djordje Peteovic to Chelsea. Here we go. Verbal agreement in place with New England Revolution on 16 million euros. The deal. Medical test booked for Wednesday for the Serbian goalkeeper who's going to compete with Robert Sanchez, and he's 6'4". From what I've seen, I think he may well pick that number 1 spot from Robert Sanchez. And he's 6'4". I think he's taller, isn't he? Let me look at Robert Sanchez's height. I don't know. Roger, have you done any research on him? I think he looks like he's going to take that spot from the highlights I've seen, but I need to see more. It looks to be more. He has more agility, better reflex than Robert Sanchez, in my opinion. And from what I've seen from his highlights that I've seen, it looks like some of those shots that has gone in, but at least 2 of them, he could have stopped them. But your opinion, Roger, if you've done any research on him, and more importantly, hola, gracias, ciao, assalamu alaikum, konnichiwa. Go ahead, Roger. I know probably you'll find one to throw at me.
Aloha. Come on, I love Hawaii.
But go ahead, Roger. Have you done any sort of research on him?
Yeah.
What do you make of that signing?
Yeah, hello to everyone, by the way.
Hello to you too, brother. I appreciate you joining.
Listen,
sorry?
How are you doing, sir?
I can't complain, man. Any day above ground is a good day.
Indeed. Yeah, I actually, I watched some comps with this Petrovic chap. Yeah, he's actually, for someone of his height, he gets down really fast on the ground, much faster than Sanchez. Much faster. The one thing that stood out more than anything, and listen, it's at best naive to base an opinion solely on compilations. I understand that. However, the one thing that I noticed that was consistent in virtually all his shot stopping was the way he parries the ball very well, meaning that, instead of collecting the ball because the shot is too powerful, he deflects it with his palms to the side. He does it very, very well. In addition, I was amazed that his compilation of penalty saves, there was a plethora of them. I for someone that young to save that many penalties, I'm quite shocked. But yeah, I liked his positioning. I didn't see any work with his feet, so I can't comment on that. And I haven't watched any of his MLS games, so I admit that. But what I did see was the fact that he gets to the top and the top right and left hand corners. His wingspan is excellent, but as I said, he uses his feet for stopping shots well. His reflexes they look impeccable. Well, you should do at that age. I mean, if you're not going to be good at that age, you're never going to be.
There are some goalkeepers at his age that doesn't have, you can say, such reflexes. I think he's an excellent goalkeeper. I get it. We're not paying $500 million for him, but good scouting work right there.
You know what? I think based on what we've seen so far in the last, let's say, since January, I think we're going to have to put faith, whether it be blind or not, into the process, meaning our scouting department, the coaching staff, and the sporting directors, etc. I think for the most part, they have got a lot right and very little wrong thus far. So I think they need to be given the benefit of the doubt. It's that simple. But getting back to this Petrovic chap, Djordje Peteovic, I'm really impressed with how he consistently saves the ball but keeps it safe. Deflects it safe, parries it.
Doesn't parry it into danger.
No. There was one occasion he did, but it was such a point-blank shot. Just to get even one part of his body on it was impressive. So listen, when he's able to parry it, he's done so effectively. So, but then again, listen, he could be awful. We don't know. I'm just basing it on what I've seen, and he seemed very consistent. His positional work was excellent. His footwork was excellent for such a big chap. But I haven't seen him, what he's like coming out for dominating his box. The compilation I saw didn't include any of that, but they seldom ever do for a keeper. They mostly only show shot stopping abilities, so which is the norm. But listen, it's still too early, in my opinion, to really base an opinion on Sanchez. But if I had to lean one way, yeah, you mentioned at the beginning, could he have possibly stopped one or two shots? With the old adage, if you get a hand on it, it should be stopped. That is twice now.
He can just deflect it behind the.
Yeah. Now, listen, he's had two hands on the ball for a goal, if I'm not mistaken, and both of them went in, and that's a little bit disconcerting. But listen, I don't want to prejudge him in this way, but I'm under the initial impression, shall I call it, and I'm not trying to cover my you-know-what, CYA. I'm just being honest. It appears that he may not be the goalkeeper we're looking for. But as I said, this is kind of unfair towards him because two games isn't exactly a huge sampling size, if that makes sense.
No, I do understand. You've always argued that. Let's give those in the chat a voice. Let's hear what they have to say. That one we're talking about goalkeepers now. Double mark contribute. I'll humor you because sure. An OG here, like with Odoi, did well when he had a top talent in Eden at all. But once he was entrusted to lead, could not step up. Same with Nani last season, stepping up to lead. No be beans, no be moi at all. He's speaking something called Pidgin English, but Roger, you're in trouble, and much love to you. Declan said, great compilation. review, Roger. You have to check out his fit compilation too. I was going to come to that. Please, MLS is a much slower league. Of course, he will look quicker. Cannot make a call like that.
No, I agree.
But I think he's more polished than Slonina. I would have been so scared had we decided to keep Slonina. I think, given where he started before he moved to the MLS, I think was it Partizan Belgrade? European side, I've forgotten that. I think, how long has he been at the MLS actually? I think he'll be fine because he started from Europe before they signed him. I think Partizan Belgrade, I can't remember where he started before he moved to MLS. But even with their comparison, he sees better than Sanchez. Sanchez is more of his ability, distribution ability, his ability on the ball, so to speak. Sorry, my email just popped open there, email window. So I'm just gonna say I think he has the potential to do well and probably beat Sanchez to the number one spot, in my opinion. But
I have a feeling also, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think he would do that. Let's see what happens. And I think the advantage is that he's played in Europe before coming to the MLS, and he hasn't. How long? I just want to know how long he stayed in the MLS. Whether the pace of the game will be an issue right now. He is a Serbian. He's Serbian Courtois without having good ball passing because that's his weakness. Oh, then that's an issue. But if he can stop the ball from going inside the net, I wouldn't mind it for you can say why we look for a complete goalkeeper. In my opinion, Coach, I know we don't have a large sample size, but when we play against 10 men, we seem to get worse. We were 4-1 up versus Brighton when they got a red card, and we literally needed 4 goals to win. Here's the thing. Let me say this. The moment West Ham conceded, I knew we were in trouble. Why do I say that? It's common practice with you can say mid-table and you can say the so-called not strong enough teams. The moment they lose a player, they usually you can say revert to you can say a more defensive approach. West Ham from the start of the game were parking the boss. They were defending deep with one man down. Yeah, you saw the manager bring in Obonna.
Do you know how you can reinforce what you just said? The fact that our statistics were actually even better when we played against 11 man.
Exactly.
That's what. Yeah. My daughter called me and goes, "Father, how come we can't be the 10-man team?" I had to explain to her. Is that basic?
And that's why I say the moment they went man down, I knew, that's it for us.
Yeah, we're indeed
because with 11 men, they'd still have again the confidence that they can score more. But with 10 men, they think, oh, they're gonna. We better, you could say, play, or you could say how should I say conservatively, or what's
shut
the
down shop.
Yeah, exactly. So I wasn't shocked when Moises brought actually one of the an offensive player. Yeah,
it was actually one of the worst things that could have happened to us in that regard.
Them going down by a man. Yeah, it wasn't good for us. Had it been we were winning and they went down a man, then you could say, yeah, that's good for us. But if we're losing and they went down a man, it's done. As long as they're not Man City, Liverpool, or Manchester United, forget it. It's done. Coach. I think. It's something to think about. I think Sanchez played decent. We cannot expect him to save every cheap pen given away. Not the penalty actually, but that's, by the way, like Roger said, he needs time too. Roger, let's not add a January to Potsdam. January was the was when Potter was throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. And now with Potter, at least for me, I see the plan. With Potter is still the coach. Okay.
I think he meant without Potter.
Yeah, I think so. And did I even read it well? Let me see. He meant without Potter. Serbian Courtois, in your opinion, I'd take Courtois right now. Too early for that poor Coachila. They will have to compete. Then Poch will make a decision. But that will give you people's, you can say, that will be give you a result that will reflect. That will be reflective of people's mindset. I think that will go a long way too. Correction, Roger, let's not add. I think we were able to figure out what you were trying to say there. Doing some emails. Eugene will be busy for an hour, and then I have to go for a meeting. Okay, not today. Okay, you're not there to have the conversation with him today. Let's see. The goal that Antonio scored, Sanchez was too close to his line. If he came out a few meters, he would have closed the gap more. So it is a goal that he can do better. But the defense failed him. Yeah, I'm not gonna be specific yet, but they failed him. Antonio shouldn't have gotten to that
It was
ball.
a comedy of errors, coach. Comedy of errors.
Yeah, you can say yep. From Disasi to how Chilwell Colwell wasn't able to stop Antonio from getting the ball. That was shocking, really.
Yeah,
you can say lack of experience.
He had a poor game in some regards, in my opinion. But you know what, though? It's so early on in his career. You can't pass judgment.
You can't fault him too much. That's not learning process.
It's like if Caicedo had scored 3 goals in 20 minutes, we'd be saying, you know what, we paid too little for him. It's come on, you have to judge a body of work over a longer period of time, regardless of position, etc.
Yeah, and you have to say, yes, then he learns from that. Had he been a more experienced player like Thiago Silva, even if you're as big as Yokozuna, or maybe as big, maybe as huge as Godzilla, you'd have to foul him to get to the ball.
Yeah. Coach,
inexperience was the reason why Anthony was able to get that ball.
And that's what's going to happen. It's going to be what you call growing pains, individually and collectively. Can I just say something really briefly about the match?
Yeah, go ahead.
The one thing that bothers me is when Enzo missed the penalty, the fact that VAR did not actually go and double check whether that
was an encroachment.
Yeah, encroachment. Actually, A, to see the goalkeeper was off the line, or B, there was encroachment, which there was. And then they came out after the game, according to, I think it was BT Sports or TNT Sports, whatever they call it now, and basically said that their response was, well, yes, there was encroachment, and no, we did not check it at that time. We verified that after the fact, and basically said because there was no Chelsea player challenging him, it's not deemed encroachment. Well, I've never heard of that. And even if that is true, why are you not checking it real time? How do you know that? So in other words, had there been a player close to him, we still wouldn't have got another bloody recall on the penalty, which I find incredulous. Just the ineptitude of VAR is... Listen, this is not the reason why we lost. I don't want to spin that at all, because that's not the case. It's just a fact that VAR is broken because of the people that are working on it. Sorry,
all right.
Coach.
We can all thank Jose for teaching the world how to win a game with just 10 men. Yep, you could argue that. Rafael asks, we're going for Folarin. Are we going for Folarin? I would say just rumors at this point. And given how much that's been quoted, I don't think we'll pay that much for him. Anything close to 50. But whether we're serious about getting him is something I do not know. Someone called Mudryk and Albino Adama Traore. Wow, that's not nice. Right. I think he's way better than Adama Traore. Doesn't matter whether there was encroachment. Enzo missed it. Petrovic is a very talented goalkeeper and has the ability to make himself our number one without doubt. I have watched his clips, and I'm very confident that we have got a special talent there. And here's the thing: if we're being honest, the truth remains, even if you're basing your judgment on the clips you've watched, his clips show he's better than Sanchez, in my opinion. But that remains to be seen, and that brings to mind what Declan just said.
I have a question for you,
that was a good. I can't stop laughing the way he put it, but that's funny. I'm gonna go to Ty in a bit, Coach. I know this comment could get me killed, but Lukaku and Jackson, dealing with Zuma and Suchek while Starling stealing into the box like a bandit might have walked with. You can argue that, unfortunately, but you of all people mentioning the forbidden name, I'm gonna ban you for 3 hours. So just get out. Ty, coming to you. Have you done your research on Djordje? I'm sure it's pronounced Djordje, but at least the
Yeah.
last name most certainly Petrovic. Have you done your research on him? Do you think he'll be a good fit for us? And do you think he takes the number one place from Sanchez? I think he's more he has more agility. What's the other time? Better reflex than Sanchez, because his Sanchez has such good reflex. We'd see it also in his highlights too. But beyond his highlights, we've seen him in the Premier League. But Sanchez, I have to say, looks a bit rusty right now. He didn't look, you can say, didn't command on his area as much as I think he'd do. But go ahead, Ty.
Wow, it's so funny. You always do this. You answer your own question. Anyways, yeah.
To make it even more
I have.
difficult for you, so that you come up with
Yeah.
something else. Yeah,
Hello,
no
hello, Ty.
plagiarism, no plagiarism here.
Yeah.
But you can
You
tap
already
in. Be sure
mentioned.
you're on side.
Yeah, you've mentioned two things that I was gonna start with, and that is his reflexing or shot stopping. He's good at saving penalties. That is one thing I've
Yeah.
noticed. He's good at saving close range shots. That is another thing.
Mhm.
He doesn't have the weakness of being beaten by a long shot from what I have seen of him.
He's
And
fast off
he
his
has,
line also.
yeah,
Yeah, so he's a sweeper
and
keeper too.
yeah, and he has good concentration. He watches the ball. He doesn't watches the player. And if the highlights that Roger said that he watched, if that's what
You
he
see,
said,
Ty, something new. He watches the ball and not the player. You see? Did I say that? No. You see, that's something very important. He watches the ball and not the player, so you can't you cannot you be difficult to deceive him with your body movement. He pays attention to
yeah,
where the ball goes. So yeah, but go
yeah.
ahead, Ty.
Yeah, but the one weakness that I think is most common is that he's not good at distributing the ball on a in terms of a long distance. He's good he's good at passing ball out from the back. That is one thing I've seen. But in
Mhm.
terms of distributing the ball to a long distance, as some goalkeepers are aimed to be, um I don't think that's one of his strongest suits. He reminds me of a Nick Pope. He's good at shot stopping. He can stop penalties. He has good reflexes, but when it comes on to distributing the ball, um, long, it either goes out for a throw or he goes to an opponent and then his teammates has to win it back. So those things are positives. If he will take the number one shirt from Sanchez is another thing, because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Sanchez has really gotten the opportunity to really prepare for the season. Probably he was, but I do remember that he did follow up with Deserby at Brighton, and hence
Mhm.
the reason why he wasn't playing games. So I'm not sure how sharp he would be. I guess he's trained at Chelsea for weeks, but it's gonna take time. So like Roger had said, I don't really think it's really fair to judge him after 2 games, because um there are factors surrounding the reason why he's performing the way he is. But yeah, there's another point that Roger made about him getting his hand on two shots. I think that's been taken against him. I know that for sure he got a touch to the Antonio shot, but he couldn't push it away from the goal. It still ended up in a, and I think the power on the shot really made it hard for him to even do that. So I'm not really sure if you can really judge him off that. But I haven't seen the Sanchez that I've seen at Brighton when I used to watch Brighton. He, for the set pieces at the corners, he usually come out. And that's another thing I should mention about Petrovic. He's good at playing the ball. He comes out, and usually have some goalkeepers where they catch the ball. He tends to lie down after he catches the ball, so that takes that relieves pressure off the team and gives him time to be able to set the ball and to plan his next move. So those are things that you look at to say that yeah, those things are promising. He does on paper look like he'll take it from Sanchez, but I still think that there's not much to really go off Sanchez's time at the club. And it's not a case where the goals that he's conceded is because he's made mistakes or anything. It's just down to
Mhm.
him trying his best and just conceding. The penalty, I don't know if I can really judge him, but I've seen some very interesting penalty run-ups recently, and I'm wondering what the hell is going on. But yeah, it's good. He's young as well, so that's a positive. You have for hopefully longevity, and I'm hearing about some long contract situation as well. I
Yeah,
just hope
seven
it's not
seven
another
plus one
Kepa.
they're mentioning, right?
Yeah, 7+1. I hope it's not another Kepa situation, but he does look like he has other attributes that Kepa didn't really have when we first signed him. So hopefully you just have to go with optimism. But we've signed a Petrovic, but that's the wrong Petrovic for me. We should be going for another attacking Petrovic.
I think we still, but thank you so much. I will catch up with the chat. Let's give those in the chat the microphone, and then I'll come back to Bobby in a bit. You shouldn't be doing that. The Bluetooth game. I'm gonna ban you for a while. Let's say so. Let me see. I agree with Roger. That VAR. Okay, right now we're talking about Petrovic. What do you know of him? Lukaku, independent, on Stalin, unforgivable. Clips from Sanchez give me also an elite goalkeeper vibes. But when you see him playing, uh, will get Kepa back from Real Madrid. His thing, there's a good goalkeeper in him, but there's an argument to be made that he's been rusty and he didn't have enough time to settle in well at Chelsea, and he got to start because Kepa wanted to leave. So that didn't help matters. I would have loved a situation where Kepa remained the number one for a while. While you say he gets to play in cup games 2 or 3 before coming in as number one. There's a good goalkeeper in him, especially his ability to come claim the ball, even when you have crowd of players inside the box. He's shown he can do that, but he hasn't done that consistently. If had he come out for that goal, we considered Gallagher is no match for the guy he was marking. The guy was too tall. Again, you can say than Gallagher is. Even Gallagher, had Gallagher jumped, I don't think he'd get to the ball. So I don't blame Gallagher. He tried his best to unsettle
Oh
the guy
no! Oh
that scored the
no!
goal,
Oh no!
but no, I think he can. If he read the game well, he could have
No!
come out to claim the ball. Yeah,
No,
I've
not
seen
that,
him.
not that. The Gallagher reasoning. I don't buy that honestly.
Yeah,
Gallagher
honestly,
had
I
his
don't blame him because he cannot measure the guy in height. So even if he jumped, he wouldn't come close.
no. It's not about measuring. Yes, it would have been a mismatch because obviously he's taller, he's
Yeah,
more physical. But Gallagher was doing the wrong thing. He's focusing on the
he was
ball and
doing
not
the
the.
only thing he could have done at the point to unsettle him. He was leaning on him and held him. That's the most he could have done. So, but my point mainly was that I expected Sanchez to come claim that ball. But go ahead if you were still talking, so that we can catch up. Again, give those in the chat the microphone and get to them before I bring in Bobby. Go ahead.
No, but what I'm saying is that Gallagher was focusing on the wrong thing. He's looking at the ball and not the player. The only thing he knows the player is doing is pushing him, and right before he jumps, he pushes Gallagher, and Gallagher shifts a bit, but he's not watching the player. The moment the player pushes you, you should be focusing on them. He's looking at the ball. Yeah, you should look at the ball, but you should be looking at the player marking. You
Hesitant,
can't
Ty.
be
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
you can't be looking at the ball because the ball is one thing. The ball could go over that player. If you're not looking at where the player is, you're already disadvantaging yourself even further. So yes, he's not as physical as the player, but as soon as you're watching the player, if he's focusing on what the player is doing, his movements, maybe
Mhm.
it would have been easier. I'm not saying he needs to jump because if he jumped, he could have still missed the ball. But if you're focusing
Okay,
on the ball
here's
and
the
not
key
the
word there. Here's the key word there, Ty. Mismatch. So he couldn't do anything. Let's just move. We're here. Let's just move on from that one and come to what we have to do. But I get your point clearly. Yeah, clips from Sanchez give me also an elite goalkeeper vibes. But when you see him playing, he's a different goalkeeper altogether. Roger, don't say that City can win. Okay, we're talking about goalkeepers right now. Big up to you, to the Prince is here. Appreciate you joining. Please, we need to keep dropping the likes on the stream. 74 likes, 26 more to get it to 100. Let's make it happen. Our situation with MLS is strange. We have seen the players like Zlatan and Messi go on retirement stint, and then a score goes from a half lines. That one I could argue maybe staged sometimes, but I don't know because all of them do that. Doesn't look very good for the league standard. It doesn't. But Almiron, didn't they sign? They signed Almiron from MLS, didn't they? But he once played. What was that place where we played a friendly against them during the maiden edition of the Premier League? What preseason competition or whatever it's called. But it doesn't look good indeed. Chelsea agrees personal terms with Balogun. Breaking news. Really? Let's see how much we're willing to pay for him. I think that's signing probably for the US market. Not because that begs the question: why did we let Gacho Fofana leave on loan? Let's see. How will Kepa do at MLS? He might be a serious contender to win the Golden Gloves. Okay. Who knows? Maybe Balogun will be able. Yeah, we're talking about. We're getting back to, but we're talking about Petrovic right now. Stop the Balogun crap, please. It makes no sense. It doesn't in any way, except for business reasons. The window or door to the U.S. market, whatever language you prefer. Sold all vacuum cleaners a couple in order to put in place a new fitness regime for Lukaku. Now, slug that out within. Okay, Italian league. German league, Farmers League. Now, some are already writing off Petrovic because he's from MLS. Yeah, because it's MLS doesn't mean there aren't good talents there. Almiron played at the MLS at a very young age. Will happen when Ugochukwu benches Lavia. Then fine. Then he's proven to the manager he's a better player. We'll have bought a very good defensive, offensive player. Kudos of Pedro Neto. Doku at all, but please, we're talking about Petrovic right now. Let's not mix the title. What we're talking about here, it doesn't help, honestly. Our next match, the players need a total concentration. Okay, that's we're not talking about the match anymore. Coach, how many tappings do you think you will get this season? Quite a lot. Do you think you will improve from last season figure of 5 per stream? Me personally, I'd bench you. Roger is always playing you on the side. Wow. Okay. The check is in the mail. I know Roger would tell you that. For once, I have to confirm you to commend you for coming out with something original and not tapping in. Gallagher wasn't watching the ball. Oh wow. I'm finished here. Coach, what prowess gave a warning with the previous corner, and he put the exact same corner in again. I was surprised at Silva not organizing his defense. Gallagher doing Gallagher things. No match for the guy that scored the goal. Coach, what did I tell you? Either that Jackson will find it difficult if we did not get a proper number 9. Please, let's stop mixing up the topic here. It doesn't help. I hear that Balogun is injury prone. Okay, we haven't spoken about him yet. I don't know that. Was ball watching instead of making his man, marking his man? We should not be waffling. Okay. Sorry, we were waffling. But Ty is on your side. So if you're counting those that don't support you as waffling, Ty, it wasn't waffling. He was the guy saying Gallagher was ball watching and not doing what he should be doing. I would be lying if I say I know Petrovic. Clips never do a player justice. Yep. You need to watch the player 90 minutes and also see clips. Clips only gives you all the good things that individual did during matches and all that. From the name, I would have thought he's he's a badass tennis player. Wow. Coach, I honestly hope this keeper is good. I am not fully sold on Sanchez. I'm sure Bobby is the same. Big up to you too, Keyshawn, and congratulations on the launch of your channel. I've subscribed, and I'm sure a few other followers here in the community have also subscribed. But go ahead, you can share the link. Let me bring in Bobby. Bobby, I appreciate you joining. How's the treatment going? I hope everything is going well and you're recovering well. Bobby, have you done your research on Petrovic? Do you think he'd take the number one spot from Sanchez? Or do you want us to move to the next topic? I'm sure the next topic you probably have quite a lot to say, but go ahead. You have the floor, Bobby.
Yeah. Hi, guys.
Hello,
Hola, and everything else that we use to exchange greetings on this platform.
Wow, that's a quick way to cover
I
every
have to,
angle.
before I say anything else, I have to say,
Uh-huh.
I have to agree with Coach on this one. I rarely disagree with Ty, but whether Gallagher was watching the ball or even worse, watching the player, he was completely outmatched in terms of physicality. He would never have reached that ball before the much taller defender, and it just goes to show that physically we were deficient in that game, especially in the defensive midfield area. And this is why against Luton, who also have 6'6" Land of the Giants players and are also very efficient and have all been together through their pre-season, so they're well conditioned, well rehearsed. We need Ugochukwu in the DM position. We should not fantasize and deceive ourselves into suddenly thinking that after 1 week and maybe a little bit more training and no preseason, that Lavia and Caicedo are up to match fitness to be rushed right in to start games. They're going to take time, whether we like it or not, whether their price is high or not. They're going to take time to condition themselves and to fit into the team. At least Ugochukwu has been there a little bit longer. And one thing we also have to remember about this team is that a lot of the players that went to pre-season and played, quite a few of them have been replaced. So we're almost starting from scratch with another pre-season in season, sadly, yet again. So we need to be a little bit cautious as to the standards we expect of this team. New team, new players, new manager, new everything. So moving on to the point, I think you wanted me to talk about, is it Balogun? I don't like that Churches. I don't think he's good enough. I think he misses too many chances and will just add to our problems. We don't need this, in my opinion. There's a reason Arsenal didn't play him. At least when we sold Havertz to Arsenal, Havertz was a regular at Chelsea. This guy is not even looked at Arsenal, and we're going to buy him. Really? I'm not sure about this one. We don't buy for buying case. This goes into the bracket of panic buys. It's better not to buy than to buy a dead wood. What was the topic anyway? What are we talking about?
Do you know anything about Petrovic,
Oh,
Djordje
Petrovic.
Petrovic? Do you
Petrovic,
think
yes. Now, this is
do you
where
think
I
he
will
take
big
over
up.
the number one spot from Sanchez?
Yeah, this is where I will big up Ty. I always like his player analysis. I don't know, other than what Ty has said about Petrovic, I completely disagree with people who go on about, oh, he's only an MLS goalkeeper. No, I disagree. I think the American goalkeepers are usually the best because playing ball games that are physical and they use their hands right from high school, using their terminology. And you would know that, you and perhaps Roger. And, they have that habit. They are usually very good keepers. I remember people like Tim Howard, Casey Keller, they produce them. And coming from the MLS is no hindrance at all. The goalkeeping position is a unique specialist position, and you come from an environment where you need to collect the ball from the air and do all the techniques that is required of the Premier League. Now, I also agree with you, Coach. I think Robert Sanchez is a bit rusty. He was just thrown in. That's why I'm a little bit more tolerant of him. Later on in the West Ham game, he did start to come out and claim crosses, which I think is important. The first goal, could he have done better? Yes, he could have gone down as well. If he didn't go up and collect the ball, he could have gone down and saved the header, in my opinion. But, it didn't happen. He did kind of improve. The penalty wasn't his fault. But I have to say, we're so used to not having decisions coming our way. Our penalty that Enzo missed, there is an argument, a consistent argument about encroachment. I don't buy that rule that somebody tried to mention on the day on this platform, that the goalkeeper was on his line. I don't think that's true. whether the goalkeeper's on his line or not. If you encroach during a penalty being taken, it is
Yeah,
encroachment.
that's irrelevant. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. It's encroachment. So that penalty should have been retaken. But we were so disappointed in the performance and so used to not getting decisions that foolishly, as a fan base, we kept quiet about that.
It wasn't even reviewed, Bobby,
Exactly.
when it took place. And then they came out later with a statement that, I think, to CYA, to basically say it wouldn't have mattered anyway because there was no Chelsea player challenging for the ball. I've never heard of that rule. I just think nonsense.
Absolute nonsense. Challenging for the ball when there's a penalty kick. I mean, that's just silly. But, it is what it is. That really, they scored a third goal. Would that have changed things? It remains debatable and left to be seen. But going back to Petrovic, I'm happy about the purchase. I think he will be good. I think he will push Sanchez. I also think Sanchez will up his game. So it's going to be quite an interesting fight for that.
Because he has a challenger now. Unlike when he was just the youth the academy player there on the bench.
Not just that, Coach. He's capable of upping his game, which I think is more significant.
And by the way, just quickly, Bobby, if you don't mind, Petrovic has a European experience. Petrovic was part of the FK Kokariki Academy from 2014, going on to break in the Serbian Superliga Cup. So he's played in Europe. That's first of all. Club first team in 2019, following a loan to Serbian League club FKIMT. That was the name I was looking for, not Partizan Belgrade. For the 2018-2019 season, Petrovic made 78 league appearances for Kokariki, as well as 4 Serbian Cup appearances and 4 UEFA Europa Conference League appearances. So he's played just one season in the MLS. On 6 April 2022, Petrovic signed with Major League Soccer club New England Revolution. So people that are concerned, like for instance, the comment that the club made in the chat that it is the MLS. He hasn't spent too much time there. And he was born in Serbia. They signed him from there. He wasn't born in the US, but he has European experience.
I would rather take Ty's player profile analysis. Some people just talk. We have some people in the fan base that like to push the Chelsea negativity. I don't know whether they think that makes them sound like they know what they're talking about. I don't know. I was on a platform and some guy was saying, "Oh, Petrovic doesn't come out and claim crosses," and I'm sure I've heard that he does, and now Ty has confirmed it. So that just goes to show they look for the negatives. They don't know the player. They don't even watch MLS. They don't understand what's going on, and they just bring out all this nonsense. I think it's good we've got him. He actually is going to have time to settle in because he's not going to walk in as the number one. I wouldn't even try him in the cup game next week. I think we should persist with Sanchez because he's going to need that sort of match practice.
Yeah, to get him up and running.
Uh-huh. But he is a threat. He will be coming in the background. He will be training with the team. And if we, please God, proceed in the cup games and get another somewhat, for want of a better word, easier draw. I know they'll probably try and draw us against Man City, but there you go. Then that's when you start to blood him in. So I'm not against the signing. We had to get somebody, and he fits the Chelsea profile. So all these people, before you criticize about what you don't even know about, I can bet my bottom dollar that all those people criticizing have never sat down and watched an MLS game from beginning to end, not to mention a game for New England, whatever it is he plays for.
Revolution.
And they have Revolution, and they have never watched this player. So what are you talking about? Listen to people who have. And as far as I'm concerned, I have not heard a match analysis of a player analysis from Ty that I don't agree with and hasn't turned out to be the case.
Yeah.
So I'd rather go with that.
Roger, all of us with all talking. Yeah, we're talking absolute nonsense, except Ty.
No, seriously. I love
Yeah,
Ty's
so-
analysis, Bobby. You're right. He's
Yeah,
spot on.
Yeah,
the guy knows what he's talking about.
you and I, Roger, we've been talking absolute bullcrap. Except only Ty knows what he's talking about.
No, I
Yeah,
need to
I
big
agree.
up. No, I need to big up him and give him credit because he does know what he's
No, I
talking
know. I'm
about.
just kidding. I know.
He's
Ty,
very
again, his
analytical,
analysis
Bobby.
are always spot on.
Yeah,
Does his
he's-
research. He doesn't just, you could say, put things together and throw it at people because he's a content
He
creator.
researches it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he researches it. Yeah.
It's very analytical. It's excellent.
Yeah. So I put the check in the mail quickly. Let's catch up with the
Yeah.
chat. And this here's the link to Ty's YouTube channel. It's called Chelsea Sessions. How many to get to 1,000 subscribers right now, Ty? Just a few.
Yeah, 2,000. 2,000.
To get
I
to
need
1,000
like
subscribers.
1,000. Yeah, okay. I need 10. I just
Just
got
10
one.
more.
I need 10.
10 more
Well
subscribers to
done.
get tied to 1,000 subscribers. Let's make it happen, people. Please go check out his YouTube channel and subscribe if you haven't. I've seen Petrovic play. He's a great ball stopper, a good size and solid hands, and can improve in terms of his ability on the ball. But that's where I'm suspicious too, as always. But let's see. I don't know him that well to argue whether he's bad at that or good at that, but we'll see. Last time we had a Serbian, he was good. Yep. Ivanovic. I think there's a chance that he takes a Sanchez place. I'm thinking that too. It's already a must win. I think we'll go that one. I think the games we have lined up us, I think, or you could say we're blessed, we're lucky. That can help us up, and you could say to be up to par with every other team before we get to play them. Does our scouts even know what they're doing? Going about buying Balogun isn't welcome. A welcome idea. For some reason, I don't know what they've seen, but to me, Balogun would be more of a business signing if we do sign him. At this point, I'm just seeing everything as all rumors. At this point, the Telvin, nice to see you. For Lauren Balogun has just agreed to join Chelsea, coach from Arsenal, £50 million. The only question I have, why do we send Djordje Peteovic out on loan? Because I think he's a better player than Balogun is. But Balogun probably more of a business signing because of the US market. Our scouts needs to stalk Brighton's scouts. Just follow them, stay in the shadows. I like this one. And get our birds in earlier. Just whoever they want, we go for that player. What Bobby is saying is categorically why I've been so critical of the board and ownership. Most of our businesses could have and should have been done way earlier. Now it's affecting our match of fitness too. Wow, some argument right there. You don't need to match somebody's physicality in terms of height and size to compete. Sure, Kante wasn't huge and taller, but could disrupt a massive. Here's thin. In that case that you're referencing, let me just put it that way because I don't want to dwell on that. If he does anything beyond what he was trying to do to just discomfort the guy a bit, probably they get a penalty. Because the key word is that was a mismatch. But I'm going to move on. But I get your point. Yeah, I think he did the best he could do. And he shouldn't be the one marking the guy in the first place, in my opinion. The US, like Bluetooth again mentioned, the defense wasn't properly organized. Usually, before what you see is who's organized and pointing to who to watching the height of the players in the box and asking the top players, you go mark this guy, you go mark this guy. And Gallagher, to me, what he could have done would have been just to go stand at the backside in case the ball or somewhere or try to stop the corner kick, but not to be the one marking that guy inside the box. To me, I agree with the Bluetooth again for once because I don't like him. We didn't organize ourselves well, but that's by the way we're talking about the goalkeeper right now. The US doesn't produce elite goalkeepers. I am afraid I disagree. How many have won major honors? Okay, some argument. Big up to the people joining late. Smash the like button, people. 16 more to get it to 100 likes. Let's make it happen. I appreciate you all joining the show, and I hope Petrovic is good. I think it's good, but there are other aspects of this game I want to see. I want to judge or anything until I see him. But I am yet to be convinced by Sanchez. You and I are the same. But coach, I apologize for lack of my knowledge. Had you not told me that New England Revolution was MLS, I was thinking it was some Sunday league club in England. Wow, you are seriously not being nice there. You've heard. I thought you knew him, Bobby. Nope. Yes, Bobby, people act like they know everything. Okay, right now it looks like okay, is that Panda? I'm sure Panda, you change your name always. Sanchez is more than capable. He's not like Kepa. Just needs more time, and he's just joined us. I think there's a good chance we see him play this season. Oh yeah. Good morning to you too, bro. I've seen your response, and I'm gonna try to complete that. It's not late yet, but it promises that it's gonna come out good. Wow, coach actually needs a tap in. Tap in. It landed in Rosie collection item. Just go away. From all the Petrovic clips I have watched, I'm very impressed with his ability. He will give Sanchez a tough fight, and I'm sure he will get the nod with a time. Yep. Let's see anything else about Petrovic at all. Though, if MLS is a route we wanted to try, why wasn't Slonina tried? Slonina is still a bit raw. And Petrovic is more mature. He's played in Europe, played in European competition too, like the under 21s, and then also the Europa Conference League. Unlike Salonina, it was just MLS. So the difference is clear. I have a good feeling about Petrovic. Not just me. I think I have a good feeling about him too. Coach, okay, I watched a lot of reviews on Petrovic last night. All reviews have been a good one, a good reviews. Stated out the stated. He saved his team from conceding 25 goals in total. His saves percentage is high. Yep, I think it's 74% or so, or 76%. Balogun is a profile of striker we need, in my opinion. Wow, and you're not being biased because you're an American? Be sure there. If Balogun, if we get Balogun, we would be giving Arsenal their Havertz money back. Yeah, if we pay them that much money. I think I agree with that one. The name New England is so confusing that I thought it's a somewhat lower league in England. Apologies. I agree with you. There are lots of names here. Some areas in the US that bear names that you see cities, some cities in England. And there's a history behind it. The link between the two countries you cannot deny, very obvious. 50 million on Balogun, and he is not an established striker. Why not add money to sign a more experienced player? It hasn't happened yet, so let's just see. Let's just say it's all rumors at this point. And the beautiful game. Rain, always nice to see you, Mr. Rain. I hope you're doing well. I'm sorry, but I saw Messi out jump Rio Ferdinand in the UEFA Champions League final. So no excuses for God. Just go away. Just really go away. Rado, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Nani should have marked Aguerd instead. Nani was a free and wasn't marking anyone. If we start pointing fingers, I'd call on Jackson too. How did he miss that? Because he jumped first and missed it. Matt Law, new client of a PR consultancy, just came out with breaking news. Romelu Lukaku is training with Chelsea under 21s and has not even spoken to Mauricio Pochettino. Yeah, how's that a breaking news? Nothing new there, in my opinion. I am saying that the type of striker, I don't really mind who he is. You sure? Subconsciously, you're not being influenced by the fact you're an American citizen. I knew New England because of their American football teams. Okay, you know them quite well. England was the U.S. Yeah, I didn't want to go into that, but let me read it anyway. England was U.S. colonial masters, so don't be surprised to see similar names of places and streets. Quite a lot of them. It's not not shocking to me. I was watching Milan yesterday, and Pulisic is on fire. Long-term Pulisic reincarnated. Maybe what he needed to do was just to leave Chelsea. And you have to talk about Loftus to the playing him in a position you could say where he's very comfortable, and he's done well. And he's a starter for them, in my opinion. I cannot believe we lost him for an albino. Here's the thing. Let's be honest. Had he stayed, chances are he'd still be struggling because Chelsea fans will always give him sticks, whether he wants to go mistake or not. So he needs that fresh start. And sometimes that ought to happen for a player to start doing well. Coach, stop. I'm not being biased. At least I have you on a chokehold right now. Somebody's begging me to stop. Unlike me begging you guys to stop in the chat. Oh my goodness, Keyshawn is killing me. That's first time I hear that. Thanks for the info, coach. No worries, brother. Much love to you. And Tebeho, you have anything to say with regards to signing of Petrovic? You could say that one is over the line. If you have anything to say, you go ahead. Go for it, so that we go to the next
Yeah,
item we have lined up. And big up to you,
yeah.
brother. I
I,
appreciate you finding the
I,
time to
have,
join.
I have a lot to say.
Quite a lot. Shoot for it.
Yeah, but before starting on it, I just want to say this new goalkeeper is a solid one. I've watched some few clips and done
So
some
you're
research.
presenting us with the clips analysis. Clips
Yes,
review. According to Declan, that wasn't nice, right, Declan? But go ahead. It was funny though.
yes, yes. And then I've done some sort of a stats research,
Mhm.
and then I think also Robert Sanchez need competition so that we don't have another keeper or many situation where about a goalkeeper knows even though it done bad previously, is gonna start every game. So I don't want the Chelsea anymore. So hopefully he comes in and challenge Robert Sanchez. So it's between Pochettino and the goalkeeper coaches who will start going forward. And then my other issue I have, I, I didn't. I'm sorry I wasn't here after the game that we lost on Sunday.
Mhm.
Chelsea fans, Chelsea fans can't accept defeat. Chelsea fans always, every time we lose a game, if you can check, they're gonna call our players names, tag them, do whatever they do. If we win games, they be happy. Come on, we can't win every game.
And they are quick
Let's
to
be
say
realistic.
Chelsea have arrived.
Yes,
Chelsea are back. Yeah, go ahead.
yes. So every time we lose a game, we see so many negative things, man. And then I understand Pochettino lineup. I think against Liverpool, we played very well, but we couldn't win that game. So as a coach, he tried to reward some players for the West Ham game. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. But again, if we should have took our chances and then avoid doing silly mistakes, I think we should have won that game. So congratulations to West Ham, but again, our fans should stop this thing. I hate it, and then
It's not okay. It's not okay,
it's
really.
not it's not okay. And then I won't stop it. Every time I see negative things, I'm gonna call them out because it's not good. We've done this to Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, even though we didn't want them to be here, but we did it with so many players. Even likes of Drogba, we named them. This is not good. This
It's
should
not.
stop.
Yeah.
Yes, and also another thing, coach. Paul Wistendi, Lawrence Stewart were not hired to be sporting directors. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a sporting director in time, and then they're here for time being. Then maybe we can get a sporting director in the near future. Also, we know Paul Wistendi is good in terms of recruitment, but our fans, we're staying out every time. We're staying out. We're staying like, come on. This should stop, guys.
Yeah.
It's annoying as a fan.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll let you drop.
Yes, yes. The owners hired them because of something that they saw. So I think this is unfair. This is unfair to them. And then to build a club doesn't take one season or 2 seasons. It takes time. But our fans, they want instant results. Instant results. Everything got instant results. Tell me, how long did a club take to build Liverpool? How long did Pep take to build Manchester City? How much did Pep spend on Man City? Lot of money. Ah man, I'm so tired.
Yeah, here's the thing. Good advice there. We don't have too much time, but I'm gonna try to get this one quickly
Yeah,
so that
man,
we
Timon,
address everything else
you're
we have.
very,
Sorry.
he's very tired. He was out of breath while he was talking.
Yeah. Would you guys take Brazilian Gabigol? When last did you hear about Gabigol? I think he's gone into oblivion. I don't know much about how well he's doing right now. Here's the thing. I think he didn't do well in Europe. He had to go back to Brazil. I can't quite remember. But here's the thing. What I want to say quickly: content creators, the behavior I'm shocked at their behavior. Some of them, you look at them, you question whether they understand football at all. I think maybe, I think I saw a tweet that talked about maybe you can say flip flopping. Just follow the trend, follow what tell people what they want to hear, and you get more views. They don't sound. I don't see. They don't sound objective most of the time. They just want to say what the fans want to hear, so that more people can join the live streams or more people can watch the videos and give them more likes, and they make more money. But I don't think it lasts. I don't think it lasts because it doesn't make sense that every time we lose a game, you finger pointing is what they do. They don't go into, you say, the whole detail of finding out, okay, how can we do better? What really happened? You don't have to name players. You don't have to start saying after spending 10 billion, this is what we see. How about if you think you're good in calculating how much we spent, how about you take your time to actually calculate how much we made from player sales and then deduct that from how much we spent before coming up with a number? They don't do that. I think I use a perfect example. Laura is Rory, how you pronounce his name? It starts with an R, right? Rory Jennings saying, wow, Chelsea are something special against Liverpool. And then against after the West Ham game, he went straight to Chelsea are pathetic. I was like, wow, that's something else. But unfortunately, content creators, most of us just care about the clicks and not really educating people, or maybe trying to be objective when they talk about situations like that. But Gabby Goal, I've told you my opinion. We need somebody clinical in front of goal. We need to mix it up, in my opinion. Coach, slightly off topic, but did someone, some Arsenal fans are told, did they okay, but did some Arsenal fans tell Mudryk that they won EPL? Do they live in dreamland, floating the season bottle? Yeah, they feel like they're the best team in England right now. And I don't blame them given their performance last season, but they'd be shocked how things are going to change quickly for them. You can say they were lucky against Crystal Palace. JC, they said if he came, he would have won the EPL. Yeah, okay. Of course, the fans were happy, and they shouldn't be. Nothing but a win will be acceptable. Let's see anything else we have here to address Chelsea session. So it's a dreamland scenario, in not exactly stuck in a bottle in ocean. The latter fits them better. My guy speaking. My guy is talking like the last time we won at the bridge. We're in a match, but I get it. We're all frustrated, but I think the behavior of content creators is concerning, really. Roma are interested in signing Lukaku, according to Gazzetta. I think Mourinho will like him. He's a typical type of number 9. Della Sport, and their CEO, Soluko, is in London to negotiate the deal. I hope he leaves as soon as possible. He saves us a lot of money. We should be getting a sporting director. Then it's been over a year of such, and now maybe we want the best. You see, if you hear the names that have been mentioned, we want the best. What happened to the Edwards deal? Winstanley deserves his criticism. Edward isn't ready to work for another club right now. I just want to avoid relegation this season. Road to 40 points. Let's go. Maybe that's the mindset you need, so that if we do well, you take it. But I'm quite sure we'll do better than that. How long do you give Poch? I'm not getting into that right now. I just know we'll do well. It's not up to me. It's up to the owners. But I think Poch will surprise a lot of people. Talking of revolution, what will happen to the under-21s with the Hamel? Who in the house? Mammoth in the house, if he's still training with them. I don't think he is. Have you washed your hands, bro? Who's in the bathroom? Just go away. Mitchell Boy, nice to see you. Please be sure to go check out Mitchell Boy's YouTube channel. He will share the link to his channel as soon as he gets the opportunity. What happened to Bradley Bacola? PSG are leading the race. He's a player I like, but it doesn't look like we get him. Let's see. Klopp and Pep have experienced players in their squad, and they have a very good DOF in the team to collaborate with the manager to bring in the right players. Are we bringing in the wrong players? I know you don't like what's his name, Caicedo, but I think he will prove to be one of our best signings this window. Chelsea have the players we only need to build the chemistry. I think chemistry will go a long way. Mr. Ralph, Kobe, nice to see you. Mr. Smooth, let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Big fan. Keep it up. Talvin Tramari, I appreciate you. For Lauren Balogun, it is now comedy central. Poch, get a grip, man. I don't think it's Poch's idea that we're signing Balogun. I think the scouts probably are the ones that bring it up before he says, okay, we can do with him. And if we're signing Balogun, it's because of the U.S. market. Kudus, Johnson, Bacola are still, on Chelsea's transfer list. We want either of the 3 players or maybe 2 of them. I don't know. But Bacola will be much difficult. He's in France. PSG will offer Champions League football, so he may well opt to go to PSG, except if we offer him a better salary. Amanda Broya is closer to match fitness, according to Simon Phillips. That will be fine. What if we do not get a central attacking midfielder and a winger? Then what? Seeking everyone's opinion, I think we will. If you're following our transfer activities, rumors are reporting our transfer activities, we're looking for those. Balogun and Johnson, then Chelsea are not serious about challenging for the title. Those 2, especially Johnson, may well be just a small screen. But here's the thing: whatever happens, I'm so confident we do well this season. How well? That's what I'm not willing to go into. So let's address the next item we have lined up. We have quite a lot, and unfortunately, I don't have too much time today. Let's see what else we have here. Sustained an injury to his left knee, and he already underwent a surgery. Chelsea expect Carney to be out for 6 weeks. 6 weeks, that's not too long for me. Earlier return than I actually expect. That's fine. I'm happy for him. The kid has proven he's so important. And if you follow that game, the moment he got injured, it all went downhill from that point. What else do we have? About this kid right now. I know a lot of Chelsea fans got bent
Honestly, out. I think 6 weeks is ambitious. That he's going to have to build his way back. I'm also talking about 2-3 months.
Mm-hmm. So what was the diagnosis? Was it a sprained knee? What did they say?
It was a medial.
Just say let's go back to that. To say is to his left knee, sustained an injury to his knee. Not this thing going into details. I'm not too sure. So let's talk about Lewis Hall.
It was surgery to the medial knee ligament. So it wasn't anterior cruciate; it was a medial cruciate.
Right. So, but did you say surgery?
Yeah, he had surgery immediately.
Oh, fudge. So what was it, a partial tear or something?
I think I'm okay with that. Deal with the situation and not just nurse it and wait for it to heal, come back, and then the issue is still there. With surgery, it will be corrected permanently. This is Lewis Hall with Eddie Howe after signing an official contract at Newcastle. Deal completed with Chelsea. The buy clause is mandatory, permanent move plus a selling clause. So that's nice, but
Chelsea fans need to be clear that Lewis Hall wanted the move. He wanted to go there.
He wanted to move. We never wanted to sell him.
Mm-hmm. No. His family at Geordie's. He's been drilled into him as a kid to support Newcastle. So he's gone as a Newcastle fan. That's the situation.
Mm-hmm. And let's look at this. This here says... this is Lewis Hall. That tells you everything you need to know. And unfortunately, somebody like, what's his name? Alex Watt, that kid that claims to be an ITK, but he's full of it, in my opinion. Is it Alex's name? He says F Chelsea. When the news came out that Chelsea are open to selling, that's why I always tell people, always try to, you can say, take your time. Do not jump to conclusions once you finish your report. Who? Felix Johnson. He's full of it. He started saying F Chelsea and all of that. Some people are saying, if that's the case, then what are the board doing? What are Chelsea doing without having, you can say, knowing the backdrop of the story, or let me say, backstory to the whole thing, the jump to conclusions. Some Chelsea fans also pay attention here. Lewis Hall here saying, I am very proud. Me and my family are Newcastle fans. And for me and my brother, growing up, it was drilled into us that we were Newcastle. So being at Chelsea was just him being at one of the best schools in the country, just as that. So see that from now on, maybe that will get you to start seeing every academy player as them knowing that Chelsea has one of the best academies in the country, and parents would want their kids to go get education there. And if the slightest opportunity they get to play for their home, you could say community club or whatever you want to call it, they take it. And you're seeing this now. So pay attention again. Louis Sol is saying he's very proud that he and his family are Newcastle fans. And for me and my brothers, my brother growing up, it was drilled into us that we were Newcastle. It's a big club, and I cannot wait to get started. Yep, not even mention of Chelsea, not even anything saying thank you to Chelsea for it. Maybe that was so happen. I haven't seen it. So, but we all got bent out of shape, calling the club names, selling this club, selling all the academy players. Some are getting what the F, what calling the third bally and code names. Please learn to take your time to analyze the situations, dissect and analyze, and come to a sensible conclusion. I wasn't in a rush. The first thing I picked up was that Lewis Hall, he had asked the club to leave on a permanent. The club wanted to loan him out and then bring him back later. And he asked to leave on a permanent. He didn't want the loan. And that was especially true once Newcastle came calling. He even probably must have been the one that refused to go to Crystal Palace.
As I said earlier, Coach, I think there are some members of the fan base that think insulting the ownership, constantly criticizing the club, somehow makes them look smart and like thinkers. They're foolish. They just look like fools, in my opinion. You're just attacking. It's like a child that attacks his family. You're stupid. People just look at you as stupid. There are times where the ownership can be criticized, but 9 times out of 10, some of these things are not criticism. They're just lashing out. They're just trying to get clicks, and they just look stupid. I mean, this is just one of them. Yeah, this is one of them. The kid wanted to go to Newcastle. He's gone to Newcastle. He will not have any disrespect for Chelsea. He was brought up by Chelsea. He's given his foundation by Chelsea, but he's playing in the club he wants to be at. What do you expect the club to do? The club said, "Okay, fine, go." Then we try and make some money from our product. It's not the club's fault at all.
And I can assure a lot of them. I'm actually a bigger fan. I'm a Lewis Hall fan than any of them could that comes and say, yeah, he loves. I'll tell you why I love him. I've argued actually he's better than Ben Chilwell and Marco Correa, but unfortunately, those two,
I think he is.
They're not going to be easy to sell. And in this case, it happens that we wanted to loan him out to get him ready. Then we found out that the kid actually prefers leaving, and that was when we said, okay, we're going to sell him, but we have to add a selling clause because we trained him. But go ahead, Ty, you wanted to say something.
Sorry, Ty, just before you go, I just want to add one quick thing. This is like the other thing. I sort of came a bit late. I think it was I forgot who was talking about the directorship, Winston Lee and I think Lawrence Stewart, saying that initially they were not meant to be sporting directors, but when we couldn't get Michael Edwards, remember, we then promoted them as sporting directors. There's nothing wrong with that.
Probably on a temporary basis.
Let me learn. Even then, they're good. They're in the job. They're doing well. Look at the purchases we've made. One of our greatest sporting directors started as a scout. Roman Abramovich saw this scout and said, "Oh, this guy can do well if we promote him." A lot of the Chelsea fan base back then, they couldn't see beyond his race and his nationality, and they started attacking him. I was one of the few people back then that used to defend this guy, partly because I met him personally and had a conversation with him once at the bridge. And after talking to him, I was completely sold by his knowledge, by his commitment to the club and everything about him. And he was hurt by some of the fans that used to attack him, but he felt okay that, that was the territory, that was what they were used to. As somebody of his race walking into seniority in football, they were used to all that. And today, now people are beginning to understand his value. That man is Michael Emenalo. So let's not knock people that become sporting directors after being scouts. That's not something that disqualifies you from that job at all. If anything, it gives you a better foundation.
Yeah, and just quickly, if you, it will be better for all of us the moment you start seeing Cobham. You can say as the let me just go with the name Cobham or Chelsea Academy as just one of the best schools in the country. Every parent would want their would want their kid or kids to get education from that school, which means only a few there actually will be, you can say, Chelsea through and through. Who we have a few of them we know, like Reece James and the others, but some of them we found out later. Mount actually, his family are Man United fans. So the moment you start seeing it like that, the better for you.
Man United fans, but he's a Portsmouth boy.
Exactly. So now I'm just saying, but for the more important point here I'm making is that it's just a good school where every parent would like their school, their kids to go get some education there. That doesn't mean that really what they sent them there to be ready to play for Chelsea. If the chance opportunity comes, if they're under contract, they get to play for Chelsea. But that's, by the way, just quickly, that's not me saying I don't rate Balogun. The question I'm asking before signing Balogun, it's not, you can say, down to his playing ability. It's probably because of the US market, because Datro Fofana, in my opinion, is a better player. I'm not saying he's a bad player. Ty, was it you that wanted to say something? Go ahead.
The real
Bobby.
Chelsea fans are our London kids. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Reece James, Trevor Chalobah. They are the Chelsea fans. Some of the others, well, they are Chelsea players, but are they fans? It's left to be seen.
They just like the school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ty, you want to say something before I go to Roger? If he has anything to add to that before we move on. And I have my brother. I always overlook Tobeho because we're close as is my brother, because I don't fear him saying, I don't get him to talk. But Ty, you go ahead.
Yeah, for me, I think that I even tweeted about it. People said that is it a case of we pushed him out, and Tobago even reacted to that as well.
So Tobago is guilty of that too.
No. I'm saying that he agreed with what I said. No. So the thing is that people are saying that we forced him out. We didn't force anybody out. We sent him out on loan, thinking about the fact that he's probably not going to get the game time. You have Ian Matheson, who is not necessarily your all-in-all left back, but can play there, and that's the role that he grew up playing. But he's playing more advancedly. You have Kukurea, you have Chilwell, who are left backs. So obviously he's not going to really get the opportunity to play there. And people tend to forget that he only played last season in that role because we had the injuries that we did. If we didn't, he would not have played at all. And I'm pretty sure you remember this as well, Coach, because he was integrated in by Tuchel, and he played a game against Chesterfield where we won 5-1. I think it's Chesterfield, or probably another team, I'm not sure. So in terms of that, people need to understand, and he said it himself now, that he is a Newcastle fan. And the moment that comes into play of you're a fan of a club, you're going to want to go there at the end of the day. So like Bobby said, and like you've mentioned as well, the moment a player wants to come to an academy, that means that they know it's the best academy to go to. And even if it's not a football academy, you go to a university or something because it's one that is renowned, or it's known as being the best one to go to in terms of popularity based on what you can learn there. And then eventually you don't have to stay there. You either decide to go elsewhere, use that as a stepping stone, you go higher. So obviously people need to understand that. But people are saying that he was forced to go because we signed Kukurea, and when we had him the season before, and we have Ian Matheson, and that's nonsense, because it's not like the club wanted to sell him. They gave him a contract for a reason. You wouldn't sell somebody after giving him a contract. It makes no sense. And for that price as well, everything just indicates that was not the club's decision. It was their choice, because you're not going to want to extend somebody's contract and then sell them for less. It makes no sense. So it's a situation where their hands were tied. The player wanted to move, and perhaps, yes, he was the one that said, I don't want to go to Crystal Palace. Newcastle come calling, and he's a young player who his family would play a key role in his decision, and the Newcastle fans. If you look at the Newcastle video with him being announced, they said he was always a Newcastle fan, and his family said it as well, and he said it in his statement. It was instilled, it was drilled into him that Newcastle is the team he supports. So yes, not because the players in the Chelsea academy means that they're a Chelsea fan by heart. It's just not like that. People need to understand it. It is what it is, though. I made a prayer profile be the thing you will see at the club long term, or not long term, but longer than he did. But it is what it is. It hurts for me, but you have to move on. It's just life. That's how football is.
Yep, thank you so much. Before I go to the Chelsea Tabejo and then Roger. I'm gonna say big up to you, Brianni. How you appreciate you joining, brother, aka 343 Dilemma, aka Vivel FC, aka Contender FC, now Jackson FC. Welcome. I appreciate you. Always nice to see you, brother. And quickly, we have JC saying, and ever since the change in our board, we have delivered. Yep, we've been doing well. It's just that we can that hasn't reflected that much on the pitch, and that's why people are concerned. On Lewis Hall, his deal is 27 plus 7 million add-ons, and not a bad deal for a player that wanted to leave. And he hasn't played that much that you'd be asking too much money than that. I get it. People are saying that's too cheap, but how many games has he played? How would you sell him to the buying club? Nothing, except the main games, 2 games or 3 at most. Has still Hall shouldn't just loan. What if the player wants to leave? They told you the player wants to leave on a panel. What else do you want to hear? I'm not gonna read that one. The blow. Oh my goodness, I'm not reading that one. But let me just bro or are on the panel on the throne or on the throne. Get out of the bathroom.
Oh God. Okay.
Like,
Coach, I have to apologize.
He's talking about the echo. Yeah, the echo coming from your end. Yellow card for Coach for his political promises. The team is horrible. This misplaced optimism is irrational. Okay, if that's how you see it, Chimera. Coach, I know you're not recapping the game, but I'm here waiting to hear Roger nailing the Sterling to the cross. And that's the wrong day. Roger would not do that today. For Roger, that was the day he played his best game for Chelsea. I was waiting for this frustration, but there's a perspective. How many boys in total we have in our academy at all levels? 150, and what is starting and what is starting every Sunday at the Breach 11? Okay, not all kids will play for CLC. Let's move on. It's as simple as that. But beyond that, there's more to this particular story. That's exactly why I don't attach attention when some of these academy players are sold. Mount another Portsmouth fan. Yeah, exactly. Let's say Gabriel, hey, nice to see you. Shows he's not a fan of the club, but or he's not into, you can say, producing or delivering Chelsea content up for the passion. He's doing it just for the fame and money. It's as simple as that. But big up. He said that, and I was shocked to see that from him. The guy signed a long-term contract. SL was not necessary. SL was necessary when the player wants to leave. And probably the club knew about what we're looking at on the screen. They found that out and said, "Oh, okay, just let the kid move on. We've done it for him."
But coach.
Yeah.
But there were reports that came out saying that he's a Newcastle fan, and that is what determined his decision to go there and not just want a loan, because.
But the problem the club learned about that too.
Yeah. So I remember Ed Barley is the one that is more involved in the transfers, because obviously he's the businessman. You know, he obviously clearly capital and everything. He's investing a lot of money into the club as well. So in terms of that, he would have known all that because he is more involved in the transfers. He's the one that is stepping in when things seem like they're not progressing in a certain way. So he obviously would find out all the details, and because of that, he found out that he's a Newcastle fan. He probably have a conversation to say that, you know what, Crystal Palace want you, Newcastle is also in, you go on loan there. And he said no. He's like I said, his family would have a key part to play in his decision, because at the end of the day, you know, growing up, he's a Newcastle fan, and he said it. Him and his brother were drilled to be Newcastle fans. So if the club that you're a fan of wants you on loan, and you can extend that to an obligation to by the end of it, and you can stay there permanently, obviously you're going to choose that one rather than a club that just wants you on loan and you have no interest or any love or support for that club. So yes, but that's the thing. People need to get the full story before they jump the gun, and that's how football is these days. You just see one thing and that's just it. You just go and jump. And like you mentioned, you have people out there who have the publicity. They have people who support them and will listen to the nonsense that they're preaching. So at the end of the day, you have people who they use their emotions. They speak based on emotions. And like you said, you have that one ITK as people call him, who will come out and say that F Chelsea because they're letting a player like him leave or whatever the hell he said, because it's nonsense. There's situations that led to the decision. So yes, I'm not surprised. Lewis Hall never really gave the vibe that he's really a Chelsea fan at heart. He looked as one of those academy graduates that they come there so that they can get the lessons that they need to get, the training that they need to get, and then after that they'll leave and they'll pursue other things. And plus, Newcastle have Champions League football, so there's things that would persuade him to go there based on getting more recognition on a club that is going to be aiming to achieve more, one that is on the rise, and one club that you were at looks like they're on the decline. So obviously you're going to go to the club that is increasingly positive. And that's what's happening to a lot of the players as well. You have Man United with Mount, you have Kai Havertz with Arsenal, and the list goes on. It's just how football is. Football is just about the fame. It's no longer about loyalty. And when you find players that are loyal, you have to generally respect them and you have to value them, because it's rare in football now. It's about fame and money. So it shouldn't be a surprise. That's just how football has progressed.
Yeah, let's hope so. Most of the Chelsea fans are fake. You can argue that their behavioral marvels me, and they're not diehard fans in relegation. And in any condition, I would still remain a Chelsea fan. That's good to hear. It means most kids are trying to get into that Twitter money, anything topic to gain attraction. Another thing is we have a lot of teenagers supporting the club. They can't separate emotion from the thoughts. That's a tight one there, and I agree with you. Let's see what else we have here. We have been conned for Balogun. I haven't seen anything from any reliable source saying we're paying them that much money. But the poet, nice to see you. I think you changed your name. But Balogun, no way we could have stayed with Datra Fofana. This is from Colemanship. We seem to have a lot of money to waste. I think signing Balogun is for the U.S. market. If we're eventually signing, but right now I don't want to believe it. But it's all PR stuff for Newcastle fans. Why are CFC fans rolling over these stunts? Would be better if we fans support our existing team instead of crying over. Yeah, a kid, he's gone. Really, I cannot blame a great player like Hall chasing his first team game time. We also have Martin Cucurella, Chilwell. Also, all okay, great players. If that's what you
have Dillian Williams.
How you seen them? Yeah, we have bought a squad, but we cannot buy results. We should work on that. Our players seem to be made of glass. Everyone game loses the ball. Wow, we are broadcasting live from Thai's.
Leave me alone, the beautiful game.
Just leave him alone. Yeah, we don't like you. Robert Sanchez is viewed as the number one still. Yeah, I've seen that. Let's see what else we have here soon. We will be losing Santos. We can't keep him more. I've learned that a long time ago. He signed a 7-year contract a few weeks ago, and you expect me to believe he wanted to leave just like that. Maybe the opportunity wasn't there then.
Yes.
It's simple.
Yes.
The opportunity to go to Newcastle didn't come at the time. But as the moment came, he took it. It's as simple as that. But I like it that you brought that up, and that made me answer it the way I did. Maybe there's something to learn that there. Lewis Hall is gone. We are crying over spilled milk, and we cannot predict his future. All we want is a porch to have a format of playing and not experimenting. Let's just do well. More importantly, that doesn't make sense. You cannot be a fan of the team without wanting to leave permanently. He mainly left for game time. Okay, if that's how what you see the situation to be, I'm not gonna argue against you. There's a chance you're correct. Why are we keep crying about Lewis Hall? He wanted to leave. That's where I start my argument with. Honestly, we also wanted to get rid
And
of Kovacic. Kovacic wanted to leave. They all wanted to leave. Go ahead, Tabeho. Let's hear you.
Mauricio Pochettino mentioned something during the preseason that unfortunately the club have to make difficult decisions in terms of making the squad shorten. For example, 24, maybe 23, 25 players into his team. This I don't think Chelsea were extremely happy about this decision, but at the end of the day, they saw something in terms of business. They trade the player, simple as that. So I think our fans just need to just accept what is happening from the club. How many academy players we sold under Roman Abramovich? So many, but I didn't care about it. This is simply business. Carbon graduate, some of them they will be sold in order to balance our books. Simple as that. Man, I don't get it. I don't get it. We are so attached to the players than the club. It's annoying. Come on.
Something I picked from there. You're so attached to the players than the club. And by the way, you've dropped your ID. Maybe you become an OG here. Your ID isn't necessary. To be honest, did you say that? I didn't hear you say that. But that's by the way. I just see the amount of support some fans gave Mount Chelsea legend into making banners left, right, and center. Generational talent, blah blah blah. Only to sign for United and say United is his home. Wow. Yes, it was Newcastle was interested in him. All windows. These are weak arguments, respectfully. Okay, if that's how you see it, you win. I'm not reading that one. I'm not into emoji language. If Hall wanted to leave for game time, why didn't he go to Palace and play? Yeah, because at Newcastle it's tight there.
Exactly, Chelsea all the way.
Yeah, so good argument right there, Chelsea all the way. So let's come to you, Roger. Your thoughts on the Lewis Hall thing, given what we're learning as Chelsea fans, and the sort of thing that was said, the sort of insults that were insults that were directed at the owners, the board, and all that nonsense. To me, I think it was uncalled for. Some of us act like you could say just like keyboard warriors with they don't know how to be objective or how to analyze information and come to a sensible conclusion. But Roger, you have the floor.
Yeah, it's just basically a sense of entitlement, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's basic. It's, he was born and raised in a family that is basically from Tyneside, the River Tyne, Newcastle, and that's it. You have to respect that. Simple as that. Just like Caicedo is a Chelsea fan. No disrespect to Liverpool. It's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Someone mentioned Mount before, being a Portsmouth fan. It's just the way it is, right? So just move on. It's much to do about nothing. Listen, there are people that go online and they hide behind their keyboard. That's it. I don't pay attention to it. It's, if they want to slander him or the owners or whomever, so be it. It's just white noise to me. I pay zero attention to this kind of stuff.
I'm going to start saying that.
Looks like Otis is watching the stream from the beginning.
Yeah, go ahead, Roger. I'm going to start saying white noise. White noise, you mean it's just like shh, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, background noise, white noise, whatever it's called.
Go ahead.
You know what I mean? It's has nothing to do with the color. It's just it's a term. It's it's rubbish. It's I'd like us to talk about our strategy, our formations, etc., certain players, not this kind of. It's a waste of breath, in my opinion. It's juvenile delinquency. This is high school crap. I pay no attention to this.
Yeah, and we shouldn't. Nobody should. So good one from Roger there. Again, he doesn't even talk much about it. That means it's really white noise to him. So he didn't didn't want to waste his energy talking about it, and I like that. Says, are you kidding me? Gallagher was not positioned correctly in the first place, and that's the problem. So Ty is correct. Okay. It looks like you're just watching. You're a bit behind and watching, but Otis Maxwell.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was
yeah.
saying, Coach. It looks like he's
Yeah,
watching it from
I
the
think
beginning.
yeah,
So
you
that's
have
the
every
reason
right to
why.
argue that, but I see it differently in my opinion. Good luck, Lewis Hall, going to have a great career. He's a fine player, and I believe that Caicedo probably isn't justified. To be honest, maybe he
Oh,
just bought the
come on.
jersey. You never know. But let's not waste our time on that. That
It's
may well
irrelevant.
be the case. You don't know. Thank you, Otis Maxwell. It's white noise to me, really. Let's move on. To the next item we have lined up here. A few items we don't need the panelists to discuss because we don't have too much time. We just move on to the next one. Let's get into it. For the Brennan Johnson, Ajax attacking midfielder Mohamed Kudus and Leon winger Bradley Bacola are also being considered. I'm not into being considered anymore. Just get one over the line. If you get Bacola, I'd like that. Kudus, I'd like that. But for Brennan Johnson, look for me, it's way too raw. I think he will probably just compound the problem to what has right now.
Coach, we're too considerate. That's the thing. That's why we lost against West Ham, because we're too considerate. We need to stop considering. And
Yeah,
acting.
we need to do something and not stop considering. Michael Olise remains a Chelsea target, but the 50 million rated winger is start to prefer Tottenham and recently signed a new deal at Crystal Palace. To me, this is absolute horse doo-doo. At first, he prefers a move to Chelsea, then Manchester City. Now he's preferring a move to Tottenham than Chelsea. I just don't know. If we get it over the line, I'll take it. If not, just bye, Felicia. He's gone, in my opinion. Sorry.
What? No, hold on. What? Wait. What?
Bye,
what?
Felicia. Yeah. Let's see the next item. That's how I see it. It was a deal that as much as I like him as a player, I think I've always thought we were taking a risk because he wasn't fully fit or wasn't fit. I'm not sure which one to believe. But let's look at the next item we have lined up here. I think we've read that one too, considered by Chelsea. What else do we have here? Okay, there you go. Let's do just quickly. That's Petrovic, Djordje Peteovic. It's looking dirty. They spell his name in two ways. One is spelled a D DJOR, I think so.
DJE, and then you have one that is spelled like
DJE.
that.
Yeah, this one is spelled like this. So let's just do quick comparisons here. His set percentage, and to be fair to Sanchez, I had to go to a season where he played more games, 37 games in total, 21-22 season. And for Petrovic here, 22 games. Should I have gone back a bit? 22 games isn't bad. Save percentage for Petrovic is 79%. That's huge. Wow, that's good. And save percentage here, 71 for Sanchez, which means in that department he's better than Sanchez. But Sanchez played more, but it doesn't matter. 22 is good enough number. And to be fair, I had to go back to 21-22 season to have to compare. Use a season where Sanchez played a lot of games. And let's see what area should we let's see what else we should look at here. Something more. Goalkeeping starts. Shots faced 126 shots and saves 99 saves out of 126 shots. Wow, averaging a 4.50 saves per game, and his team. Wow, he faces 5.73. His defense must be poor. Honestly, Roger, if you're paying attention to this, save percentage, save percentage, 99 saves out of 26, 78.57. That's not bad. Let's see this one from Robert Sanchez here. Goalkeeping stats, 143 shots faced. Didn't face that much shots. Saves 101. That's good also. 101 saves out of 143. 70%. So you could say Petrovic beats him. So Roger, what do you make of the numbers we just looked at?
Yeah, different leagues though. But having said that, a shot is a shot, regardless.
They don't shoot differently at the MLS, right?
Yeah, the 9.8 meters per second of gravity still applies, right?
Yep.
So, but we are kind of comparing apples to oranges in some regards because of the speed of the league, etc. But we have very little to compare, so because they've never played in the same league together, so that's why. But listen, he passes the eye test to a certain extent. But then again, I haven't seen him in full game, so that's another thing that we need to take into consideration. But sure, the stats are good, but listen, the only way to really come to a sensible conclusion is by watching him live in this league, of
that
course.
will make a huge difference.
Yeah, so
they're both.
but
They're
from
both
what
poor
I've
with yeah, go ahead.
From what I've seen, which you can't put too much credence to it, but he does look pretty good. He's big and comes off his line fast, unlike Sanchez. Sanchez is not exactly explosive off his line, and as I said, this guy parries the ball very well. His technique is excellent, but let's see how that translates into this league, though.
Yeah,
I have a question for you, though, Roger.
Yeah, the Butler did it, mate.
I have a question for you.
Go on.
I'm wondering if it has something to do with the goalkeeping coaches that we have, because I've noticed that it tends to be the notion recently that a lot of the goalkeepers don't come off the line. Before Kepa left, that was the case as well. So I'm wondering if it has anything to do with that, to be more cautious, because I remember seeing Sanchez doing the same thing that I saw Kepa do, which is instead of coming forward, he runs back, or he runs backwards to try to get into a better position. So I'm wondering if it's actually him, or if it's the goalkeepers, or if it's the goalkeeping coach that are training in that way. I'm not sure. It's just a listen. What do you think?
I doubt it. I wouldn't think so. But then again, look, Kepa came off his line quite fast, generally, much faster than Sanchez. I doubt it very much, because you need to come off your line reasonably fast to block. To shall we say, shut down the angle. That's what you're in essence doing as a keeper. You're closing down the angle, and obviously the target. You're decreasing the target, the surface area of the goal. So that's why I say that.
All right, go ahead, Roger.
Every keeper is different, stylistically speaking, but this chap is noticeably faster off his line.
All right, let's look at this one. Yeah, he's not. That's correct. This is the assist passing. This will give us a clue as to how good both goalkeepers are with their feet. But in terms of the goalkeeping stats, I think he's a bit much better than Sanchez. But Roger mentioned something. The league differs, but also points out the fact that they don't shoot differently. The MLS, the ball still moves at the same speed, and they still shoot good. And you could argue if anything, goalkeepers there will have more experience of stopping the shot, because that shows, for instance, we found out the stats we looked at, how many shots he faces per game, showed how poor his team must be defensively, because he faced too many shots, 5 point something per game. Yeah.
MLS is pretty open. Come on.
Yeah. So the goalkeepers are, you can say, pretty much good. But let's look at the numbers here. This is for which of them? This is for, is it Sanchez? Yeah, Petrovic. Petrovic for, you can say, forget about the assist passes, 584 passes in total, 25th percentile. Not that much. And successful passes, 368 out of 584. That's poor. 16.7 per game. Pass completion rate, not really that bad, but it's poor, really. 63.01. Because 40% he missed could lead to a lot of issues. Key passes, 1. Yeah, he's not that good on the ball. That's what that tells me. For this brother here, which is Sanchez, 0.05 passes per game. No, expected assists, so to speak. That's the wrong one. 36.03 passes per game. And how many? 26 per game. More from Sanchez. Okay, maybe they don't. Maybe Petrovic, his New England Revolution don't play out from the back. Successful passes 896 out of 1,333, 24.2 per game, but 67%. I think they're measuring that aspect. Oh, he's actually better on the ball than Petrovic from what we're getting from here. Yeah, key passes 3, more key passes also. And Roger, I think we've talked about that the last time. His long balls, I think he's good with long balls.
Yes,
we know that.
Very
so
good.
In terms of being good on the ball, yeah, at this point you can say it is Sanchez is better, but Petrovic is a better shot stopper from what I've seen, and also you can say more of a sweeper keeper than the both of them, and has a better reflexes, in my opinion. But yeah, Bobby, you want to add anything to that before we talk about the importance of starting Lavia and Caicedo? And maybe not in the future, but right now I think we need them both. Bobby, you have anything to add to this?
No, nothing to add to that.
Okay. How about you, Tobeho? Anything to add to this?
Nothing, coach.
Okay, let's talk about, here's the thing, the importance of starting Caicedo and Lavia is this. Our defense look shaky. I get it. We have Thiago Silva and everything. As good as we think they are, we look very shaky, not properly coordinated. Just like something, for instance, the Petrovic game mentioned Thiago Silva not organizing his defense very well before that corner kick that we conceded from. Because Gallagher shouldn't be the one marking that guy. Usually you see defenders pointing, you go mark that guy, probably because they're measuring in height, makes it easier for him to stop him and all that. Yeah, exactly. It was a mismatch in the first place. No matter whether he did enough or not, in the first place, it was a mismatch. But beyond that, the reason I'm arguing we need to be starting Lavia and what's his name, Lavia and Moises Caicedo is that our defense need protection right now. I think they still will look disjointed. Probably you could argue, the Sassi is new there. He hasn't played with them. Even Colwell too is new. So they need as much protection as they can get. I wouldn't mind us, you could say, sacrificing a bit offensive-wise, but not to shipping goals, because chances are, from what we're seeing now, even if we score 3 goals, we'll make enough mistake for a clinical side to score 4 goals. That's how I see it. So we need to start them, protect our defense very well until when things are stabilized properly. I get it. Some people argue it's more like having all our eggs in the same basket. Even if we're not playing with 4-3-3, which is the most, you could say, the structure that gives us more chance to accommodate the 3 of them. Even with the 4-2-3-1, let's find a way to accommodate the 3 of them, Caicedo, Lavia, and Enzo. I wouldn't mind even Enzo playing in a 10th position. I get it. He would do better playing from a deeper position because he is more like an orchestra, a deep line midfielder, for lack of a better term. So I think we need them both on the pitch until we stabilize properly. Then we can decide being a bit more playing one of them at a time, rotating them so we don't run 2 of them into the gutters. That's just my opinion. Roger, I'll start with you. What do you make of that argument?
Well, what's that, sir? Oh, about Lavia and
Lavia and now, even if that wasn't the plan, because we need to protect our defense.
Definitely. Listen, we're making fundamental, basic errors that led to quite a few goals this season already. It's quite disconcerting, but it's early in the season. I get that, and you're looking at, for most part, very young players, with the exception of Silva, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But do they need protection? Of course they do. Every back line does, for the most part. But it all depends on coach, whether they're ready. If they're not ready, like you could tell, Caicedo wasn't ready. He hasn't really had
of reasons.
He hasn't had a preseason. He's not acquainted with the players, etc. Just he's not up to speed, match speed. Also, many different aspects why it wasn't successful for him a couple of days ago.
You can say, more importantly, the prolonged transfer saga, unfortunately.
A multitude, a myriad of reasons, everything. You add it all together, and that's what you get. That's the recipe. And so it all depends on how they do in practice. One would assume that they should be ready. Maybe they need to come off the bench, or are they enough to start? I don't know, because Caicedo didn't have a preseason. I'm not sure about Lavia. Lavia, I think, didn't he? So,
but if they are ready, you get my arguments as to why I think we should be starting them.
That's the big question, Coach. If they're ready, then yes, they should be. If not, then don't. You saw what happened when we put someone on prematurely, erroneously, and that backfired on us. It's that simple. So, indeed, the question is, assuming they are ready, then yes, why not put them in? Because this back line, I wouldn't say fragile. That's too harsh. But listen, I like Colwell, but he's made a couple of mistakes down the last 2 games that have led to goal attempts or goals conceded, and we need to. How shall I put this? We need to negate that. If we want to be a top 5 team, we have to come away with points from every game, whether that's a draw or victory. You know, losing this last game when you dominate, when you create so many chances, when your XG is this good, this is different application. So please don't misinterpret what I'm about to say. But basically the same result as last year under Potter. We would dominate, create enough chances, not make errors, defensive errors, and not put the ball in the back of the net. This same result with the same recipe for disaster, that is. So this needs to stop. And if we can prevent our own errors and start playing more soundly, shall we say, then this will go a long way.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, let me again give the people in the chat the microphone and come back to Ty, and we need to round off as soon as possible. I don't have too much time. Our squad is sticking together for each other. Very heartening to see their tweets. Yep, that brought tears to my eyes, really. Honestly, we want our players who stick together. Hall has to do same with his new squad, wishing keep academy flag flying high. Yeah, if he does well, more people would want to come to Chelsea. Bye, Felicia. You love that, Collington. Nice to see you. I appreciate you saying that. I hope you're doing well. More importantly, let's see anything else to address here. Money. Yep, I understand that, Coachila. Since when you started the Moneyball approach in building your squad? Ty seems to be that wonder kid you have. Ty is a wonder kid, and even though I don't like him, he's on Bobby's gang. Never always supports my argument, but that's, by the way, I'm fine. I will survive. Enzo can play that 10 role, but a bit more deeper. So a 10-8 hybrid. Yep. But I hope you guys all understand my argument as to why we should, even if they are intent, even if we sign them for the reason of rotating them, so that we don't, you can say, burn them out. I still think we should do that. We can play 4-3-3 with Lavia, Caicedo, and Enzo, with Caicedo and Enzo playing as inverted 10s. Yeah, it makes sense too. Let's see what else we have here. Constantine Dante says we are playing 3 at the back to accommodate Silva, but it does not suit this team. 4-2-3-1 is better. Silva is also good in the back 4 structure. I like the tweet from the players, but I wanted to see it on the pitch. But it's a good start. Yeah, you like it? It's a good start. Would you rather them not do such? That shows you they're together, and that goes a long way. There's something new. I hope Poch is working hard to get Caicedo and Lavia up to speed. No, he's not. He had them on Burger King and McDonald's to get them ready. So maybe just like Africans believe, you're ready when you eat enough food. Ty, quickly, your opinion in my suggestion that we should start them both if they're ready to protect the defense properly, because we seem to be struggling there. Ball playing wise, were excellent, but defensively, yeah, lots of suspicious stuff there. Ty, if you're there. All right, I'm going to go to Tobejo. It doesn't look like Ty is there. Tobejo, what do you make of my argument that we should be starting both whenever they're ready to protect the defensive line until things stabilize well?
Whoa.
All right, Ty, go ahead. Please,
Wow.
we don't have too much time so that I can bring in Tobejo.
Well, I don't think that's necessary. I really don't think it's necessary.
Okay.
I don't, because quite frankly, Caicedo is Caicedo isn't that type of profile. Yes, you can mold him into that, but that's not necessarily his profile. He Lavia defined the type of player that he is. I've already said this before. I'm not really keen on Lavia like that. I hope I'm proven wrong, but he's outlined that he's a player that claims the ball from the defense, try to transition the ball, win the ball or claim the ball from the defense, and then proceed up the pitch. So it's more like that box to box. So when he says he's a DM, I've always questioned that because I don't really see him as a DM. DM is more of that box to box. But yes, the DM role has evolved over the years. They tend to roam a lot more now. But I think that if you play Caicedo and Lavia, for example, together, it would be counterproductive. Right? I don't think both are needed on the pitch at the same time. I think it's either you play one or you play the other. I don't really think it's necessary to have both because it just looks like there'll be a clash of profile there. It doesn't seem like they would accommodate both. I could be wrong, but based on the profiles of both players, one being one that claims the ball and then progresses it up the pitch, and then the other one winning the ball back or getting the ball and then trying to distribute it higher up the pitch. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but I could be wrong, and I'd love to be wrong. But to
Here's
me,
the
at
thing.
least, I don't think it is.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think you just explained how they differ. Lavia is, you can say, he's excellent at helping the team player from the back. He can get the ball, beat the press. He beats the press very well. That was why I said we actually replaced Kovacic with a player with much better attributes, more to his game than Kovacic. Lavia has an eye for goal, but Lavia, more importantly, if you pair Lavia and Kovacic in a double pivot, let's say in a 4-2-3-1, it's more like having Kovacic and you can say more like having Kovacic and Kante, or Kovacic and you can say Kovacic and Jorginho because maybe Lavia, I think I don't think it will be counterproductive in any way. But what you have to do, if you do that, you must have a traditional 10 or somebody more creative in front of them, like Enzo, like play a 10 in a deep of a position, not further forward like that. It can happen. Or maybe in a 4-3-3 structure, we can have them both. Lavia playing centrally because between the two of them, he's better than what's his name, Moises Caicedo, better than Enzo Fernandez in terms of helping the team player from the back. He can beat the press effectively. So to me, I think we can actually do that. Even
That's my bad, coach.
Yeah.
I was thinking about
That's we're here to learn because your argument.
I'm saying 4-2-3-1. I'm saying 4-2-3-1. If you said 4-3-3, then yes. But I'm thinking
even
about
in the 4-2-3-1 we can because we've played. Check out. You explained how they differ. One is good with helping the team player from the back. The other one is more like into breaking up opposition play and also can bump forward too. We can. It depends on the manager will now say I charge you to be more disciplined. I charge you have the independence to be more adventurous on the pitch. As the problem, I don't think it would be a problem, but I get where you're coming from. They differ, and you did mention how they differ, which means we can play them both. They have qualities that complement each other's attributes. I hope Coach is working hard. I think he's doing that. And Brianni says we need our captain to be vocal. Yeah, Rhys James isn't one yet. Maybe he's still learning the trade. Even Chilwell is worse. Oh my goodness. No player behind Jackson is not playing to his strength. Yep. Let's see what else we have here. I didn't say he cannot play in a back four. I said at least I want to get at you like you get at me. I said we're playing back three because suits him better, but that doesn't suit the rest of the team. You can argue that. How can players get match fit and injuries without playing matches? A question for the panel. Get match fit after injuries without playing matches. You just answered that.
No. This is sorry,
question in my opinion. Match fitness
Coach.
is a different thing. So he has to play matches to gain match fitness. It's as simple as that. Go ahead, Ty, if you want to add something to that.
No, coach. People get it wrong.
How did I get
Match
it wrong?
fitness is not the same as being match sharp. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that
No,
match
I'm asking.
fitness means that you're fit
I'm not
enough
complaining,
to play a
Ty.
match.
Go ahead.
Match fitness is when you're fit enough to play a match. Match sharpness is different from match fitness. Match sharpness is when you're sharp enough and you're able to operate the way that you should be played. So people mix up match fitness and match sharpness. When you're fit to play, it doesn't mean that you're sharp to play. Caicedo is fit
But you
to
get
play,
both.
but he
You
wasn't
get
sharp.
both from playing the match.
Yeah, that's the true, and that's the case. But you can be fit enough to play a match because it's in the name, match fitness. You have fitness to play a match, but the sharpness is different from the fitness. Because, like I said, Caicedo was fit enough to play, but he wasn't sharp enough. So the match sharpness is different from match fitness.
Match speed.
Ty, I get what you're explaining, but there's still match fitness. The intensity during a match is different from the intensity in the training on the training ground. You get that because you're facing an opposition. During training, the coach can stop the game to give instruction for 5 minutes, however long he wants. But match,
less.
you don't have, exactly. During match, a match proper, you don't have that luxury. The game goes on. Nobody waits for you. I get your point, but go ahead, Roger. You wanted to add something, but you make a good point there.
No, Ty's right. Because you've got to differentiate, but what he's referring to is the match speed, how you read the game. Not we're talking about mentally, especially for a defender, so it's all about how you read the game. And that you can't just be parachuted into that. You need to
sharpness is a different thing altogether.
Yeah, because there is a difference between even friendlies. Look, even a competitive friendly is much different from an actual real game where points are on the line. The intensity is not even, you can't even compare them.
I know Coach won't let me talk because he knows what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I don't like you. At all. Let me just get Tebeho. I'll come to you, Bobby. We can round off with you once you speak, because Tebeho is on the panel before you. But Ty made a good point. Pay attention. There's a difference between match fitness and match sharpness. Ty made a good point there. Always something to learn. Come to you, Tebeho. Your thoughts? Playing Caicedo and Lavia together. What do you think? To protect
you remember on Saturday I mentioned the same thing, that we should play both of them, and maybe Enzo should play the number 10 just for now until we get a proper number 10. I mentioned it on Saturday that we should do that because it's annoying to concede these silly goals that you're conceding. So we need protection, and then maybe we can go to, let's say, a back four and a 4-2-3-1 system that Pochettino knows better now. For now, because we've been training that formation during the preseason. Now players look confused sometimes, but again, I don't want to blame a lot on him. At the end of the day, every game is all about learning. Hopefully, he can try this system in terms of what I'm saying sooner, so that we can see it and then we can judge it. But overall, as I said we need to try it because it's annoying to concede silly goals.
Yeah, thank you so much. Before I go to Bobby, so we can round off with him. Yes, Lavia is more of a Kovacic type of player, and Caicedo more like Kante. Yep, it's I couldn't say that any better. So they differ. Both can actually start together, even in a double pivot. Then you must have, if you do that, you must have a more creative player in the 10 role or in the as the 2-8. It depends on the structure. Lavia doesn't have more to his game than Kovacic. Come on, coach. That's just your opinion. In my opinion, I think he has more to his game. I think he can be more physical than Kovacic, even though probably Kovacic looked the bigger of the two. And playing out from the back, things he does, they differ a bit. Why aren't we talking about Leslie? Is it because he was bought for 23 million? Has he gone anywhere? I'm not concerned. I think so far the signs are good for him, in my opinion. Let's see. James is not a captain is not vocal, also body language, a presence on field, and availability is important. I'm not sure why we gave him the captain. I'm not sure. I think he leans on the trade. As somebody will educate him on how to be a better captain. When does form? Sorry.
Sorry. I don't think as a captain you should be always vocal.
But you have to. It goes a long way to be vocal. It does go a long way, in my opinion. But go ahead with what you were saying.
It depends.
Yeah, it depends on the situation. Yeah,
exactly. So it doesn't always have to be vocal. So, man,
but do you argue
captain,
sometimes you have to?
Yes, I argue that.
Yeah, but there's still time. Like I said, he learns on the trade. He will become a better captain with time. I think he's surrounded with somebody like and he does a lot more that captains do. Like the way he welcomes new signings and all that, and the way he speaks again after games and all that. The way he sticks with some players, in some cases players that didn't really do well, that he sensed maybe concerned about their performance. All that does go a long way, and I think he'll become better at it. Honestly. When does form gets into that category of sharpness and fitness? Form, you can say, form defines how consistent you play for a given time. That's when form comes into play. If you play badly for a given time, for a given length of time, you're in bad form. If you played well in a given length of time, you're in good form. Yeah, it comes in there. But I understand. Everything. That's why I love the Blue Morning Show. Everybody's opinion matters. There's always something to learn. And Ty mentioning clearly that's the difference between two. But the question I was answering and asked about match fitness. But Ty mentioned something that people, you can say, that easily used interchangeably without people paying attention to how they differ. Ty is still raw and needs to refine his passes, to smoother up the tapping for you. He needs to keep it on the carpet. Wow, that that's him having a go at me, not you, really. But Ty has grown. Ty understands the Blue Morning Show very well. Good chemistry from him. But more importantly, go check out his YouTube channel. Check out. I have the information in the description section. I want to get Bobby's new description. I couldn't find the old one, so I can start audit there, even to all the shows he's been on. I'll learn from the tapping master. Yeah, Coachila. Wow. I'm finished here. But Bobby, let's come to you. The argument that we should play both Lavia and Caicedo, because our defense, we've looked shaky, even if that wasn't the intention. It could work. The two players differ in profile. They complement each other. One would be, I would charge Caicedo to be more disciplined and give Romeo Lavia the independence to, you can say, be more adventurous on the pitch, in my opinion, and that will work to protect the defense. Now that we still look too shaky for me, we make too many mistakes. That even if we score 3 goals, if we play against a very potent team, chances that they will outscore us. But you go ahead,
Coach.
Yes.
Honestly, you see, we have this plug and play mentality. You know, before you, and it's also a little bit of entitlement. Before you go into a boxing ring to fight a world title fight, you spend months in training and conditioning so that you can cope with the level of competition that will be put in front of you. With 1, to save your life, and 2, to avoid permanent injury, and 3, to perform well. We saw the evidence of the fact that Moises Caicedo was not ready last Sunday. He's not really going to be ready by Friday. He needs time and conditioning. This is the problem with not doing your transfers early.
Yeah.
This transfer ideally should have been done before pre-season. Even more so when you have a new coach and an entire new team. What Chelsea has been forced to do now with all these new additions is to start pre-season in season. We're not going to be ready till December. And God help us that we are in a respectable
Bobby, by the way,
position.
that's something delicious.
Let
I
me
think you said it
read
today
down.
again. I love it.
God help us that we are in a respectable position in the league, because our detractors and our non-thinking fan base will start attacking everybody, players, Caicedo's hopeless, Lavia's hopeless, yada, yada, yada. because we are performing to the level at which we find ourselves, which is not ready. What we need to do, we have a player that has at least 2 weeks training time with the team. We need to use him while people like Lavia and Caicedo are getting ready. The fan base, if they don't see them starting, I know what they're like. I saw somebody on Sunday, someone I respected once, start saying, "Oh, Caicedo's at Chelsea. Oh, he costs 115 million. I think with that sort of price, you start straight away. You start him immediately. Jose Mourinho would have started him." Just unintelligent, not thinking words. It just shows me you know nothing about football. Not, in fact, you know nothing about nothing, not to mention knowing anything about football. You're not thinking. You look at things, oh, Caicedo did this last season, so now he's here, just put him in. He's not ready. Neither is Lavia. They're not going to be ready for some time. Now, they're fit boys. They'll probably be ready at record time, but it's not a week. It's not 2 weeks. Pre-season is a month that players use to condition themselves. They play so many minutes, then they don't play. Then they play so many more minutes, then they play so many more minutes until they're up to speed. And even then, they require a full series of matches to get to that Premier League level. We are way behind with these new additions. People are attacking Desassi. He's also not ready. He's just been thrown in. People are attacking all these new players that one, they're not quite conditioned. Two, they're not even used to the players around them. It's wrong. So wrong. I think another thing is, even if we had both Lavia and Caicedo on the pitch, peak fitness, they didn't have the physicality to deal with that first goal that West Ham scored. What we need to do with situations like that, back in the day when we had Makaleli in the DM position, people like Drogba used to go back. Fortunately, our midfielders had some height about them. Lampard, Ballack, all that lot, they were quite tall guys and very good with their heads. So they would go back and help. Drogba used to go back a lot for corners and set pieces in and around the box. Perhaps we should start looking at Jackson to come and help a bit. I haven't seen him head a ball since he's come to the club. That might be a deficiency of his. I don't know. But at least he would have stood a better chance and in that situation than Gallagher. And indeed, although it's quite disappointing because Carney has some height on him, but even then he looked like a midget compared to the guy that he was jumping up against. So it is what it is. You know, a lot of these teams use physicality against Chelsea because they know that's our deficiency. We don't put enough big boys in the team, so we struggle. People even try to blame Disasi for that first goal, but no, Disasi was marking Zuma. He was doing the right thing. I don't know who Colwill was marking. I can't remember, but they were occupied with the numerous big fellas that West Ham had. We need big guys in. Play Ugo. Let him Ugo shoot. Oh gosh, please. You know who I mean. Leslie. Play him. Play him in the DM position while you are conditioning Lavia and Caicedo, and put earplugs in your ears when the Chelsea fans start moaning and grumbling and screaming and ranting and puffing over things they don't know. You know, thank goodness. Well, we've started Disasi now. We may as well persist and he gets his conditioning in game. But this idea of just throwing players in that are not ready is wrong. Even this new goalkeeper we're getting, he won't be ready to play for some time. Maybe he's conditioned by playing for New England Revolution, but understanding the team and the players around him is going to take time. That's why we're not seeing the best of Robert Sanchez. I support your theory, Coach, that he was just thrown in, and he was. You know, Kepa's leaving was a little bit untimely, but it is what it is. At least a goalkeeper worth their salt can probably be better placed to learn in game and in season more than an outfield player. Let us give Moises Caicedo and Lavia the opportunity to optimize their performance rather than have them come to a new club for big transfer fees and just be open to be lambasted by stupid fans and, of course, the media and the other fans that are just waiting for that sort of thing to happen. They know the situation, but they just want to make fun and attack and demoralize Chelsea and say, oh, what a waste of money. They're not good. Oh, Chelsea buy players from Brighton and they come to Chelsea and they don't perform. You can just see all the narratives, the usual narratives. Whereas what has happened was, number one, we didn't get the transfer done early enough like we should. Is that a management problem? Maybe, I don't know, but we move on. Number two, we need to have enough within our squad to be able to accommodate these late arrivals. If a team like Man City does a transfer deal late, at least they have an established squad to cope with it. We don't. We have an entirely new squad. So we may need to grit our teeth, and it might get worse before it gets better. Please God, I hope it doesn't. I hope we can manage to just limp along, pick up the points while these guys are getting fit. So,
All right.
in summary, my answer to your question, do we start Lavia and Caicedo together to protect the defense? No, we look for alternatives.
But I think you misunderstood my argument right now. And I did mention that during somebody asked that when they're ready, I think it could work. No, you don't have to do that immediately. But if we continue struggling defensively, if they're ready, starting them together makes a huge difference, in my opinion. But I understand where you're coming from. If they're not ready, we shouldn't just throw them in there. Yeah.
I appreciate the question being posed. You know, we're having a conversation, and it's good you posed the question, Coach, because out there we have so many fans that really believe this should happen immediately. So we on your platform have the opportunity to try and shed light as to why it shouldn't happen immediately. And if it does, their performances will not be optimal and won't be as we expect. So it's a good question. It's a good thing to throw out there.
All right, people, with that, we've come to the natural end of the show. I want to say thank you to Bobby, to Bejo, Tyrone, Roger, the chairman of the Goalkeepers Union, all of you, Ty, that's the name I'm looking for. You once said it yourself, but I'll come back to that. I want to say thank you to all of you in the chat. Mr. Troublemaker, Lucas Ty has shared the link to his channel. Go check it out. Please, let's help him get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Supreme Quartz, I appreciate you. Chelsea All-the-Way, I appreciate you. Constantine Dante, I appreciate you. Much love to all of you. Whereas the beautiful game was here. Brianni, Yahayo, all of you. And if I missed your name, apologies. Unfortunately, I'm in a hurry now. I'm actually late. But see you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.
Good night, gentlemen.